Some old faces in the big train that played in the Major League Baseball. Are any of them still left on the roster today? We'll find out later as we move along as the big train hosts the DC Grays here at Povich Field after their 4th of July break, coming into town 18-4. See some players, maybe some future big leaguers out there. And hello, everyone. A pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobeck here with you on Big Train TV as the big train roll into town after their 2-day layoff for 4th of July, and they host the DC Grays. DC traveling here for just the second time, and to do that, they'll send to the mound Jake Eddington. Ben, and what have we seen from Jake Eddington this season?
Yeah, slightly inconsistent, but when he's on, he is on. Has a lot of good stuff, good command, and when he is cooking, he's a hard nut to crack for any opposing lineup.
Cooks a fastball in there for the first ball, and we're underway. So the top of the order for the DC Grays is two-thirds of Taney Little League involved players that are involved with the DC Grays. Scott Bandura, of course, played for the Taney Little League World Series team that Monet Davis, one of the broadcasters for DC Grays, pitched for, as well as the on-deck hitter Jolly Hendricks way back in 2014. So Bandura's got a 2-0 count already here on Eddington, the 2-0. Sets and delivers. 3-0 now, and that one looked pretty good to me up here. Pretty sunny. It's going to be a shadow-filled evening for the first couple of innings tonight for the big train, but they'll adjust to that as they go along. The 3-0 zips a fastball in there for a strike, and it's 3-1. So the order for the Grays: Bandura, Jolly Hendricks, Cam Buford, Burt Camper, Sprague Lott, Peter Costigan, Sam Kaplan, Jay Tarkington, and Patrick Vandenberg rounds it out as Bandura fouls one off, the center fielder, donning number 30 today. Bandura's been at the top of the order every time the big train have played, and I'm pretty sure every game this season Bandura has batted in the leadoff spot. So Coach Reggie Terry has his leadoff guy. He knows that.
Consistent presence, has delivered as well with a .328 batting average, 17-0 when it comes to stealing bases as well.
Here's the pitch, fouled off again, and very Darius Foster-like, but a more prolific base stealer and a more successful base stealer than Darius Foster. As things are leading off here.
But yeah, if you look at the line for Eddington, 14 innings, up there with the rest of some of these workhorses for the big train pitching staff.
He takes a leadoff walk, and he's going to be aboard, and they got to watch out for him as he'll probably be in motion. Started right at 7 o'clock tonight. On-time start, and that'll bring up Jolly Hendricks, another member of that fabled Taney Little League World Series team. Apologies for the technical difficulties here on Big Train TV. What you missed was a strikeout looking to end the inning for Jake Eddington, and then a ground ball that couldn't be flagged down by the second baseman Jolly Hendricks that allowed Riley Johnson to reach first base. And that'll bring up Darius Foster, the designated hitter, with nobody out. Checking on the cheeseburger in paradise himself, Riley Johnson. Big Train coming to today 18-4, and they're facing off against a guy that was going really well before he came to town and faced the big train. And Tucker Alch, as he delivers, Foster squaring the bunt, called a strike, and it's 0-2. In his last outing against the big train, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. So a very, very congested line there for Tucker Alch, and really put a damper on his early season success.
I mean, it was completely uncharacteristic of what he had put in coming into that matchup, but, with a lineup as deep and as deadly at certain points as this big train batting order, you can understand, and he's just going to try to come back and be the pitcher that he knows he can be at his peak.
And he's got to be happy with escaping with 3 earned runs instead of 6 earned runs on his ledger. He's got 0-1 on Darius Foster, who attacks that one and sends it foul, and it's 0-2. Johnson on first, Foster at the dish. Matt Thomas is on deck, Alch on the mound. DC Grays, despite being in last place, have had two players of the week to their credit this season already, in Alch and Cam Buford. They just haven't been able to string together a long stretch of victories. 0-2 now to Foster. Grounded towards second. Going to be a tough play for Jolly Hendricks, and it bounces off of his leg and goes into right field. Johnson heading for third. Foster into second. The throw down is not in time. And another error on Jolly Hendricks here in the first inning.
Yeah, and another one. The first one okay, but the second one, that's going to make you pause and take a second to really evaluate whether or not that was an error. That's a scorched hit ball. He's working to his right. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's got to be an extraordinary effort, like you said. And poor Jolly Hendricks just had his chances at a Gold Glove take a hit there. So second and third, Big Train will take you with Matt Thomas, one of their offensive players of the week here. He's looking to send one to that truck down the left field line, beyond the left field fence near the Bethesda Beat banner. If you hit the truck, you get the truck. No, that's not the promotion, but that would be cool if it was. Parked just beyond the fence. Thomas tops that one foul on its own one. So Thomas is up with the mighty righty Kemp Alderman on deck, and in the hole, Brady Gump. Nice order for the Big Train. Johnson, Foster, Thomas, Alderman, Gump, Doyle, Torres, Martin, and Hatfield. We'll see how they go against Tucker Alch tonight. The 0-1 now to Matt Thomas. Grounded towards short. Thrown to first will be, but the runner is in anyway. It's an RBI sacrifice ground out that moves all two runners over to Cam Buford for Matt Thomas.
Yeah, just good execution there from Thomas. Would have loved to put that in the outfield grass or, maybe into the bed of that truck, as you said. But he knows what his job is as that three-hole hitter. He knows what he's good at, and that's bringing runners home, feasting on those ribeye steaks, which he does right there, to add to his quite high total.
And if that truck's going to want to get a ball in its bed, it's going to have to drive a couple miles away because Kemper Alderman's up at the plate, and he attacks the first pitch and fouls it off, and it's 0-1. Truck is now moving away from left field and going to center. Moving very slowly beyond the outfield fence.
Even 20 RBIs on the season now for Thomas.
Thomas will take that at the expense of no hits allowed for Tucker Alch. So it's going to be more unearned runs on his line. 0-1. Alderman laces one into center field. Going back on the warning track. It's going to bounce off the wall. It takes a funky hop away from the center fielder. And Alderman's going to get to second with a stand-up double, an RBI for him.
Yeah, he says, Matt Thomas, you want to eke into my RBI lead with a nice ground out there? How about a double straight up the middle? 25 now on the year for Big 33.
Absolutely smoked it.
And I think that might be the first time this year he's had consecutive RBIs, and neither of them involved a ball leaving the yard.
Oh, right, absolutely. Hit one of those partitions in the fence post and took a weird bounce away from the center fielder Bandura. I mean, Foster was going to score if he was on first on that play. Instead, he just trots in from third as Brady Gump takes a strike, looking for his first, and it's 0-1. Gump is just walking on fire right now, walking on sunshine, whatever you want to call it.
I think this is the highest we've seen him hit in the batting order, too.
Yeah, up to fifth in the order. Highest Gump has been, and Keith Torres is in at seventh. That's the highest we've seen him outside of leadoff.
I think he hit second the other night behind Gauthier, but yeah, no, the same kind of idea. These guys have proved themselves to be offensive linchpins, and on a night when, your normal heart of the order and Rocco Pepe's getting a kick his legs off, get a night off. Why not give these guys a chance to show what they can do in a little bit upper position?
Gump takes one inside. Gump has been just enjoying himself at the plate. Switching up the order is Sal Colangelo, trying to see if they can get more runs across. It already is working, paying dividends here. 2 runs in the first inning after 5 in their last 2 games.
Yeah, it seems like they've been due for a big inning.
Against one of the better pitchers in this league as it's up and in, and it's 3-1 now. Alt started the season with, I believe, a sub 1.2 ERA through his first couple of starts.
I don't think he gave up.
Didn't allow an earned run, I think.
Yeah, he hadn't given up an earned run in a few appearances to start off the year.
Entrusted with that ace roll. Gump sends out one flailing out of this park, and it's now a full count. Runner on second.
And by the way, he came back after that, loss to the Big Train. Came back with 3 very strong innings at the Braves on June the 28th. No earned runs, just 1 hit, 3 strikeouts in 3 innings.
So maybe showing that it was just a Big Train thing there.
And got the win in that. Shortened game, I guess.
Came in relief or started that game, not sure. Gump goes down swinging, and there's 2 down. Foul tipped into the mitt of catcher Burt Camper, and Trevor Doyle stands in.
Yeah, Doyle, another guy, another corner outfielder who's been doing a lot of good work with the bat lately.
Had some hiccups in the field a couple of games ago, but has really ironed himself out and delivering some consistent hits in the lineup for the Big Train. Pretty low crowd today on the left side, at least. The right side is pretty full. Looking to watch Trevor Doyle take on Tucker Alch. As I'll go over the signs one more time. Try to confuse Trevor Doyle a little bit. Alderman, the runner on second, hit an RBI double that took a weird hop off the outfield fence, but didn't matter. Maybe if it were Darius Foster, he probably could have gotten to third on that. As Doyle takes a long swing and a miss there, and it's 0-1.
I mean, Alderman certainly had a shot. He rounded second so easily standing up. But, we saw Jack Cohn earlier in the year have an RBI double and then get thrown out trying to stretch to third. 1 out in the top of the first. Why push it?
Right. As Doyle takes a strike down there, and it's 0-2.
Still in scoring position.
Tomorrow night, Big Train will be in South County. We'll have you in Lorton, and we'll
final trip down there.
Thankfully, final trip down there. We'll figure out where in the world is Big Train TV set up. We don't know. It's been different both times we've been there. But right now, we're in the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth, where we love to be.
Home sweet home.
0-2 to Doyle. Good pitch there from Alch, but it's taken, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, good idea there, says the dugout. Trying to go a little Escalade.
Trying to get him to go upstairs on that one, but instead Doyle smartly lays off of that. Very good take from Trevor Doyle. A pair of errors and an RBI double lead to 2 runs, and caught in a pickle there is Alderman, who might get thrown out here. Throw down to third, and Alderman is toast, and the inning is over, but not after 2 runs come across on 1 hit. The Big Train get thrown out on the base pass. We'll see you for the top of the second here on Big Train. Strike delivered to Jared Sprague-Lott, the leadoff hitter for the second inning. Jake Eddington working quickly. 0-1. Corkscrewed Mr. Sprague-Lott into the ground, and it's 0-2. Eddington getting a big swing and a miss there from him. Who can settle in now, afforded a 2-run lead here in the top of the second. Something that he's been no stranger to, though, in his couple of starts. Breaking ball bends inside a bit. Sprague-Lott gets out of the way, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, I think different amounts of run support in the first inning is, Big Train are oft to give their pitchers upwards of 5 or 6 runs in the first inning every now and then. But I think 2 runs is really sort of the perfect cushion, because at that point you can allow yourself a tiny mistake here and there, but you can pitch without being overly on edge. You can just go out there, do your job, and attack.
2-2 now from Eddington. Grounded towards the hole. It's going to get through for a base hit, and Sprague-Lott is aboard with the first Gray hit of the game, and that'll bring up Peter Costigan, the left fielder.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there. Just pushed it the other way to a really tight position. Thomas is just perfectly in the hole, really.
Shifted a bit over was the second baseman, Martin, who
He's still there, playing pretty tight to the second base bag comparatively, but
seeing if he can't
double
flag
play
down.
on here.
Can't flag down a ball up the middle. As scoring the bunt was Costigan, and he misses and dances out of the way. It's 1-0. Both teams now have their first hits of the game. Costigan, Kaplan, Tarkington, and Vandenberg round out the bottom half of the DC Grays order. Kaplan with that red helmet stands on deck. Here's the 1-0. Eddington misses outside, and it's 2-0. Jake Eddington, roll tide, he says, as he takes the mound, maybe. I don't know.
Just whispers it softly to himself, you're suggesting?
Yeah, potentially. Tucker Alch on the mound for DC as Costigan hits one way out of play, and it's
Cardinal
2-1.
I think that's what the Catholic University of America is, the Cardinals.
Catholic Cardinals. I drove by Salisbury back from Ocean City this week, 2-1 now from Eddington.
Did you shout out a congratulations on the D3 College World Series from
I think my sentiments would have fallen on deaf ears in that situation. I drove by plenty of community colleges down there as well. They have a lot of community colleges in Maryland.
Yeah.
Warwick Community College, but not like the city Warwick. WOR-WIC. 3-1 now. Out. Ooh, called a strike. Costigan was ready to go down to first base. Pretty close to call there, and it's now the count runs full.
It's a good spot there.
Very good location there. Paints the outside half of the plate, and now he's got a 2-strike count to work with.
That's what happens when you're a little early out the box.
See if Costigan's swinging away here. 3-2, taking ball 4, and there's 2 runners on here for the DC Grays and Sam Kaplan coming up. Second walk of the night issued by Jake Eddington.
Yeah, slightly uncharacteristic just in terms of a little low on control right now. But he was able to work around, that leadoff walk in the last inning. But with no outs here, got to lean on your defense. Just let him work.
Absolutely. Jake Eddington will rejigger himself out there on the mound. Once again, we thank everybody who's tuned in right now on Big Train TV. Love to see everybody's families come and say hello to us at the ballpark if you make it out here. And we will also be on call for the Big Train, well, not Big Train, but the CRCBL Maryland All-Star Game. 1-0 now from Eddington, who's missing a bit here with his pitches. But that's a strike there as it's fouled off by Kaplan into the screen, and it's 1-1. Collected by the on-deck hitter, Jay Tarkington. Sam Kaplan, the right fielder, we've seen him quite a bit. Hasn't really burnished his credentials against the Big Train this year. 1-1 now is dancing off second base is Costigan. Swing and a miss there, and it's 1-2. Sprague-Lott dancing off second base. Trying to get Eddington to balk, which I've never seen happen just from a runner on third base. I remember Jose Reyes did it a long time ago in Philadelphia, I think it was 2005. But other than that, I haven't really seen that happen in quite some time. But Eddington, in a pitcher's count here, 1-2. Breaking ball reached for and fouled off, and they'll get a new baseball. Jose Reyes was something special when he could run. One and two now to Kaplan. Smacks one, but that goes way foul, and they'll do it again.
Kid lining up right there by the batting cage. Lost in the sun a little bit. Almost like a major league outfielder.
Just lost his chance of getting a contract.
Then went about 10 feet behind his head. Yeah, you see that catch in Milwaukee the other night?
Which one?
Yeah,
I did. 1-2 now to Kaplan. Bloops it into right field into the gap. That might split it, but coming over to make the catch is Doyle. And tagging and heading to third is Jarrett Sprague-Lott. He is safe there, but a nice way to cut that ball off for Trevor Doyle.
Yeah, Doyle was on his horse there a little bit. That thing cutting into the right center gap. Able to reach up, snag it in, and hold Costigan at first. So runners on the corners here with one out.
Sacrifice F9 there. Sacrifice fly F9 there. And here's Jay Tarkington. Tarkington, the native of the great town of, well, I'm trying to find it now, but I don't think he's listed on the roster. I do not see Jay Tarkington anywhere on this roster. Oh, well. Number 41 is not listed. Oh, yeah, there he is. Native of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Home of the Tar Heels. Swing and a miss on a high cheese there from Jake Eddington, and it's 0-1.
Old Dominion Monarch.
Might head down there for a hockey game this year, barring if I make the team or not. 0-1 here to Tarkington. Tar Heelkinton, as that's grounded very slowly to third. Going to be tough to get anyone, and Kemper Alderman kind of has to put that in his back pocket. It's botched. It's an infield single, and a run comes across the score as the DC Grays load the bases. Tough play there for Kemper Alderman to make, regardless. He would have had to barehand it to even have a chance to get the speedy Tarkington at first base, and now Patrick Vandenberg will stand in as the bottom half of the order with the bases loaded. RBI single for Jay Tarkington. Excuse me, first and second here. Costigan only got over to second. Coming in to score was Sprague-Lott. Here's the pitch now to Vandenberg, and he was late on a fastball there, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, Vandenberg getting to rest the glove a little bit today at the DH. He's been a pretty consistent guy we've seen at second base when the Grays matched up with the big train.
0-1 now to Vandenberg. Vandenberg out of Lafayette, Nashville, Tennessee native. 1-1. Donnie, that's definitely a Lafayette helmet.
Yeah.
Got the colors of the... Are they the Raging Cajuns? I think they're the Raging Cajuns.
No, that's Louisiana Lafayette.
Ah.
This is Lafayette.
Lafayette
Pennsylvania,
College.
yeah.
Hits one up the middle. Torres can't get there and having to freeze on that, and that'll just load the bases. Everybody moves up. Torres didn't even think about going after that, and the bases are now officially loaded for the leadoff hitter, Scott Bandura. So Eddington getting knocked around a little bit in this inning despite only allowing one run. 3 hits have come across in this inning, and a run as well. So here's Scott Bandura. Bandura, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania native, as we told you, Taney Little League alumnus. Played as a part of that 2014 run to the Little League World Series. Fouls that one way off. Nice to see him and a couple of his pals from that team on this team.
Yeah, I mean, that's just got to be a really cool experience for them to share together.
And I wonder if they were both...
After having such highs in your youth baseball career, to be able to, first of all, get to collegiate baseball level. You know, not everybody's able to keep that sort of success up. And then to, you know, come here and experience the CRCBL.
Breaking ball is low, and it's 1-1. Him and his pal Jolly Hendricks are batting 1 and 2 in the order. Both played on the Taney Little League squad, and of course, Jolly Hendricks now attends Southern University, Southern College, forget what it was, but Monet Davis also on the broadcast team for the DC Grays, if you did not catch that sentiment. Here's 2-1 to Scott Bandura. Reached via the walk his first time up. Stole a base, only got to third before the inning was retired. Pair of errors for his battery mate on deck and Jolly Hendricks. 2-1. Misses outside, and the count runs to 3-1. Bandura was hitting north of 320 this season and a qualified north of 320. Coming into today, one of the spark plugs at the top of the DC Grays order. 3-1 now. Fouls it off into the screen, the second screen, and out of play near the Big Train Bullpen and the Cabin John Regional Park tennis courts. Count runs full. Merry-go-round should be in motion here with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yeah, Eddington just looking to find his spot here. Don't want to leave anything out over the plate.
Jolly Hendricks up to the plate here. Had a bit of technical difficulties there once again for a few seconds. Didn't miss too much, though. It's 1-1 on the Philadelphia native. Southern University attendee. 1-1 from Eddington, who's looking to get a big out here to retire the side with just 1 run across. They'll check. Did not go around, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, good spot there. Similar to, I think, that pitch we saw from Alch in the bottom of the first. Trying to get Hendricks to chase there on the escalation.
Well, Ben, we have some sad news to announce. Not sad in the sense of like someone passing away, but sad for retirement. Swing and a miss there, and it's 2-2. News from Japan: Daisuke Matsuzaka has decided to retire after this season.
Today I learned that Daisuke Matsuzaka was still pitching in Japan.
Yeah. Guy that was so hyped coming to the major leagues, pitched really well in his first season, but never could put it together after that. Not sure what quite went wrong with old Daisuke.
Didn't he win the World Series that year? Yeah.
World Series in his first season, so I'm sure he'll be happy to take a ring home and various NPB
He was so
Japan.
good that year.
He was just phenomenal. A phenomenon as well as grounded to short. The throw to first is in time, and the side is retired. Much like Daisuke, weaving out of a jam there for Jake Eddington. Ground out to short. Big Train due up when we come back here on Big Train TV. Right fielder Trevor Doyle resumes his first at-bat of the game after Kemp Alderman so rudely interrupted it last inning.
I think it was almost kind of a good thing for Doyle. I think he had a 1-2 count.
He did.
Now he gets a clean slate, gets to start all over.
Up and high. Doyle rules. Not O'Doyle. Crazy family from the Sandler movies. Sandler movie, I should say. Fouled off and way down the left field line.
You're hacking at that one.
You're the tarpaulin. Full name for tarp. That doesn't cover this field at all, which is just a crying shame.
Covers the parts that matters. Home plate and the mound.
Yeah, but the tarp that is huge down the left field line is basically just placeholder. Puppet. Bounces away there, and it's 2-1.
Thanks, Parks.
Thanks, Parks. I bet if it were the DC Grays, it would work.
Yeah, because the Washington Nationals Youth Academy.
2-1 here to Doyle. Bounces again, and Ulch maybe needs some spider tech.
Excited to be there for a while on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, double header. We will both call a game that day. Should be a fun time. We love that. That's one of my favorite places we've gone, I think.
Bring plenty of water.
Doyle cracks one up the middle. Jolly Hendricks flags it down, fires first, and gets away. And that might be the third error on Jolly Hendricks here for the first 2 innings.
Throwing error this time. Mixing it up.
So his fielding percentage has skyrocketed down. Jolly Hendricks is having an adventure at second base tonight. And there's a runner aboard. Tell you what, he's no Daniel Murphy out there at second base.
He also came into this game with just 1 error in his 7 games. So, as you said, yeah, it's downhill pretty quickly.
Flying Hawaiian, Keith Torres is up. Takes a first pick strike. And 0-1. Torres, who just has an obscene on-base percentage this season, has walked many times. Check on the runner at first base, not going anywhere is Doyle.
That would be a second on the team, 533, because Matt Thomas leapfrogged him in those last 2 games where Thomas reached a combined 7 times.
Now, you can say Thomas is good all you want. Torres has done it with a very stark difference between his average and on-base percentage, if I'm not mistaken.
289 and a 533 on-base percentage.
Just
Thomas
insane.
hitting an even 400 coming into today.
Yeah, so it's just a bit insane
With
for Keith
550,
Torres,
yeah.
who loves to work counts. 1-1 here to Tucker Ulch. Would love to work one here. Maybe Foles. He takes one outside. Has a very nice eye at the dish. 2-1. 2-1 is our score as well. Big Train have 4 relievers available out of the bullpen tonight, so the least should be 4 or 5 for Jake Eddington, maybe 6. We saw one pitcher go 6 this year. I believe that was Eddington down in down at Alexandria, if I'm not mistaken. 2-1, fouled off, or he went just 5, and I'm losing my mind here. We'll figure it out eventually. Two and 2 now. Keith Torres. Love to put a charge into one and maybe get Doyle in from first, who can run a little bit. Ulch long hold delivers. Torres hits one way up in the infield. And settling under it is Buford at short, and he'll make the play for the first out. Big old P5 for Keith Torres in the infield. Did not leave the confines of the dirt. And up comes Christian Martin, the man they call Christian McCaffrey.
And by they, again, you mean us.
Us and a couple other people.
Well, I guess they did write it on the lineup card, so yeah, I'll give you they. It is quite striking. Really, just striking.
It really is, and they called him Christian McCaffrey Martin in Silver Spring. Nice fastball there from Tucker Ulch, and it's 0-1. One crazy thing I've seen on this roster is how many players from Grambling State there are.
Probably a connection between
Oh, absolutely.
coach down there at Grambling and
Reggie Terry.
Terry.
Checking on Doyle. He's back safely. See, that might be where Reggie Terry might coach there.
Well, Terry used to coach here for the Big Train. He was an assistant way back in the day.
Played independent league baseball as well. Been the Grays manager since 2015. Ripped into right field. Going back is the right fielder Kaplan. He makes the play. And Doyle will have to head back to first base. A nice charge of a baseball for Christian Martin. But instead, he's left with an out.
Yeah, good piece of contact there. Doyle had a hefty, come nearly all the way down the second base before coming back to tag up.
So here's Dylan Hatfield, who enters to Guns N' Roses. Sweet Child O' Mine. It's a good at-bat song.
No, it's a great at-bat song.
I wasn't going to go there because I would have feared that you would have said the opposite, but it is a great at-bat song. 2 outs, and Hatfield has a runner on first to work with. Struck out 3 times looking last game. He takes a hefty cut and a miss for the first strike 0-1. It's been a tough go of things to start his Big Train career for Dylan Hatfield. Looking to come around in this game. Get some signs from Coach G at third base. Batting 9th in the order tonight.
There's something to be said about the experience of just trying to get your feet wet at this level of competition.
Right, it's taking outside ball or strike 2. And, he is one of the few high schoolers on this roster who haven't really faced competition this high up. High up, a bit of an overstatement, as good as this, I guess.
As deep as this.
As deep as this. And you'll see some good guys out there on the mound. And Hatfield has unfortunately run into a brick wall through his first couple of games, but can change all that with one swing of the bat. Guy that certainly has all the tools to succeed. The one thing I've been impressed with for Dylan Hatfield is the calls he makes behind the plate.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, close play there at first base. But Dylan Hatfield calls a very good game, which you got to have if you're a catcher. Set up some good pitches for Jake Eddington today. Looking to help his pitcher, help his buddy by chasing a runner in. 0-2 now. Outside, ball 1. Hatfield committed to Virginia Tech. 5'11", 185. Very shorter side. Very much on the shorter side for a catcher. Of course, when you're towering behind the 6'3" Grant Knipp and 6'1" Danny Neary, tough sledding.
Cardinals fan, grew up a big Yachty guy.
Taken outside, Doyle takes the second base easily. No defensive indifference, but it's a stolen base nonetheless. And with 2 outs, he's in scoring position.
And you can kind of see from that Yachty influence, maybe a guy who grew up admiring really good pitch calling and really good defensive catching.
Absolutely.
In the soon-to-be first ballot Hall of Famer.
I've gotten
when
over
his time comes.
His home run off Aaron Heilman is in there. Strike 3 call, and that's 4 consecutive looking strikeouts spanning across 2 games for Dylan Hatfield. Big Train get a runner in scoring position, but nothing more. We head to the top of the 3rd here on Big. Oh, we have a visitor. Catalyst Hot Dogs opened in the winter of 2020 is located just beyond the third base grandstand at Povich Field. Specializing in New Jersey-style hot dogs, Catalyst is inspired by the classic Jersey joints that owner and operator Chris Van Jura grew up enjoying. Featuring Rosita Farms all-beef dry-aged dogs as well as vegan dogs, Catalyst is available for all your events needs and can be found on all social media platforms under the handle @Catalyst Hot Dogs. Contact them at info@catalysthotdogs.com. One all the way. Love a good Catalyst Hot Dogs, and we will have a special guest in the booth for the next half inning as Cam Buford goes around on a half swing. It's 0-2. Jack Cohn will be joining us here on Big Train TV, the pitcher-hitter extraordinaire. Excited to talk to him in just a couple of moments as Cam Buford goes down on a swing and a miss. And there's one quick out for the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Eddington.
Great location there on the wipeout pitch from Eddington. Getting Buford to chase at that one and losing a handle on that one almost.
Yeah.
Kind of half-hearted, one-handed swing around there. Always something you love to see as a pitcher.
Absolutely. Is Burt Camper the new batter for DC? Big Train lead at 2-1 on just one hit that scorched Kemp Alderman double. First pitch to him, ball in the dirt, and it's 1-0. Jake Eddington, Crimson Tide pitcher. He's really endeared himself over these last couple of starts for him. Big swing there from Camper that's fouled way out of play, and it's 1-1. Eddington, the native of Doniphan, Missouri, all the way to Alabama. Does battle here with Burt Camper. 1-1 here with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Camper attacks again, and it's fouled off.
Bunch of free baseballs in play already.
Yeah, lots of them. You love to see that for the kids, of course. So he's got him 1-2 once again. Target on his back. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and Jake Eddington continues to mow down some batters. So there's a second out. Back-to-back strikeouts for him here in the third inning.
And, I mean, two guys that had already struck out versus Eddington way back in the first. And he comes out, obviously not the inning he was looking for with those 3 hits given up in the second, but comes out and stays attacking and able to get the first 2 guys down here, 2 outs, top third.
So here's Jared Sprague-Lott, the third baseman, who had a single his last time up, outside ball 1. Eddington, a guy that is one of the faster workers on this staff, but certainly not the fastest. Will get those pitches in there quickly. 1-0. Swing and a miss there from Sprague-Lott. Riley Johnson, right away, leads things off here with an RBI, or with not an RBI single, with a leadoff single here to get the big train going here in their half of the third inning. And in our half of the third inning, we got a very special guest up in the broadcast booth with us, joined by the man they call Jesus, Jack Cohn, up here in the broadcast booth with me. Jack, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Happy to do so.
All right, so we'll get things started right away. So obviously you both pitch and hit. What's the process of preparing for when you're going to pitch versus when you're going to hit on a given day?
So on a day where I know I'm going to be in the lineup hitting, just a typical day for hitter, I'll do BP, warm up, stretch, everything. In days where I pitch, I'll hit sometimes it's like a nice little warm up, loosen up the body. But other than that, I just hit and then relax for the next hour or so until I have to throw for my pregame warm up.
Right. All right. Yeah, definitely a pretty easy way to, I guess, discern the approaches here. But how about coming out of the bullpen versus starting? What's the difference between that, I guess?
Yeah, that was a change I had to learn. When you're starting, you get almost 40 minutes. Some guys take pretty long. But, yeah, as a reliever, you do your workout before the game, probably about 30 minutes before the game, just like getting your arm loose. So as a starter, it's very nice. You get all that time to stretch. But yeah, reliever, not too much different for my routine to starter, just the timing of when I do it.
Right, yeah. So here's an 0-1 from Alts. He texts again on the runner first base. Very close play. So one thing we've noticed, obviously, when we asked you early on when you first got here, was the evolution of your facial hair during your time at William and Mary. Can you go over the story behind that, or the change in that as you moved along with the tribe?
Yeah, definitely. So the hair wasn't a thing. I always had short, cut hair. And then when quarantine happened,
Foster laces one to left field. Going to fall in front of the left fielder Costigan for a base hit. Back-to-back singles lead off this inning, and you can resume your thought there.
With quarantine, with barbershops being closed, I was just letting it grow, and then they started opening up, and I figured, I'll just see what happens. And so I just let that grow out, and that was fun. And I decided to keep it. And the facial hair, ever since freshman year, throughout high school, I would always clean it up, shave it. But then in college, I started just to not really care much.
Yeah.
And just let it go, try to do some funny stuff with it. But then after sophomore year, I would just let it grow out and see how long I can get it.
Awesome. I can't grow a beard, so that's pretty awesome. See, so guy up to play right now is one of your teammates at William & Mary, Matt Thomas. I mean, how cool has it been to play with him here on the big train?
It's been awesome because he's been here, obviously, since his freshman year. Just hearing all the stories about the fans, the atmosphere, and finally being a part of it with him has been a real treat.
Awesome. Yeah, pass ball there gets the runners over to second and third, runners in scoring position. I guess the interesting thing is batting with nobody on as opposed to batting with runners in scoring position. Does your mindset change, or is it just, in your mind there's nobody on, I'm just going to go up and try to get a hit regardless?
Yeah, definitely. With no one on, just trying to find any way to get on. My approach doesn't really change much because I'm not trying to hit the ball out of the park much, but definitely with like second and third here with no one out, Matt just needs to put a ball in play, honestly, and that'll get the job done. So just shorten it up just hitting the ball in the zone anywhere will get the job done.
Yeah, something he's done quite a bit this year as he takes the ball outside. It's 3-0 here. So you did hit a home run earlier this year at Povich Field. I mean, how cool was that to get one out of the way? I guess get your first one of the year.
Yeah, just whenever they happen, they're an accident. Just it was a ball inside that just turned on and happened to go out.
Yeah. So this season, you've done both, as we mentioned before, both pitching and hitting. As Tom hits one up the middle, right back to the pitcher. Also look at the runner's back, and that's probably not what Tom is.
One spot, yeah.
Yeah, the one spot where he doesn't want that in that situation, so he gets the ground out, 1 out. But so coming into what are you, I guess, looking forward to for the remainder of the season as you guys get into the stretch run and playoffs?
Right now, we've had a little tough stretch with hitting, and today we look a lot better. Just I guess the 2 days off kind of rejuvenated us. Just getting the bats going again and that confidence, just to put runs across, and because our pitchers have been doing great, so just keeping that going and building momentum for the playoffs.
Yeah, one guy that's been a catalyst for the offense this season is up right now in Kemper Alderman. We've heard a little bit about how fun it is to watch him, hit nukes and also in batting practice. I mean, from your standpoint, what's it like watching him in batting practice?
Yeah, being out in center when Kemp's hitting, it's you honestly just take your glove off and just kind of watch all the balls go over. We joke of how many balls he's probably lost this team, but yeah, it's definitely fun to watch, and especially since he carries it over the game too.
Yeah.
Really great hitter.
Yeah, playing at South County. I mean, pretty cool going back home. I guess playing there. What was your experience like in high school playing there? Your numbers out on the left field wall as well. So how cool was that to get as well?
Very cool. So I played freshman year with the Braves, and I played there. And after that season, I thought that was my last at South County, but ended up happening again this year, and it's just been fun. Being at the high school field, talking to teammates about school and playing there and everything. It's definitely fun.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a nice field too to go down there and see. Definitely a bit of a hike, but fun to go down there and see as we'll head back there soon. So coming up, not in the lineup tonight. Do you know where you're going to be tomorrow, though?
I will be in the lineup tomorrow, and I think me and Austin, both South County natives, will play there for our last time there.
Yeah, that was it was cool to see Austin go yard there as well.
Yeah.
A couple games ago. So this season, outside of South County and Povich, what's been your favorite place to travel to as we've moved along here?
I really like the Grays field.
Yeah.
It's just a real nice field to play at. They always have a nice. We always joke about they have nice sunsets out there. But yeah, just the turf, really cool, and the whole facility is very nice.
Yeah, 1 and 2 fouled off here, so the turf is pretty interesting. I know the hops are a bit different. I know you're in the outfield, so it won't affect too much. But when you're playing stuff on a hop there, as opposed to here where it's a normal grass field, is it a bit different, or is it sort of something that you have to maybe move back on a little bit because of the bounciness of the turf?
Yeah, it can be hard at first. Like a line drive, you're not sure whether to play back on it, or if you go and try to catch it, you really got to make sure you can block it up. It just comes from experience, playing at turf fields in college and throughout travel ball, and it's definitely a little different for sure.
All right, so we'll move into a bit of some pitcher questions here. So we've asked every pitcher this, obviously. What's better, getting a strikeout swinging or a strikeout looking?
Strikeout swinging.
Strikeout swinging is
Yeah.
bounce to short. Buford will throw on the runner at first, and there's 2 down. Runner comes in to score, so it's 3-1 Big Train. Any reason why you think swinging is better than looking?
As a hitter, I know if I was swinging at a pitch, I know I liked it. And if you know that they couldn't even make contact with it, it makes you feel pretty good about yourself. That's my answer for that.
All right, yeah, it's one we've gotten from a couple other guys as well. So and then in the bullpen, on the mound, who do you think's got the best stuff, or who do you think's got the nastiest pitch to work with this year?
Being in center, watching Matt Bedford throw is pretty special. He's got a lot of movement on his ball, and then also Everett, who just recently started throwing for us. Really fun to watch him throw. Also Cooper, he's got really good stuff. Really, you could just pick any of them. It's all fun to watch.
There's a good pitch there from Tucker Alch that gets in there for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 here. So, this season, how nice has it been playing, I guess, in front of fans and playing with all the fans here in the ballpark, because it's something that we love to hear the roar of the fans as they go along.
Yeah, it's been great. Playing in college, and it's mostly parents and close friends. Everyone's just cheering for their own team, but here, you really get to feel that they love baseball, and it's fun to play in an atmosphere like that, just to like all the kids happy and all the people come out to watch you because they love you. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a fan base that loves their baseball here. As it's 1-2 from Tucker Hawk to Brady Gump, who's batting fifth, and he swings and misses strike three, tagged out. The side is retired. I mean, if you want to stay up here for another half inning, we'd love to have you. But if you have to get going,
Oh no, I'm
yeah.
good. Yeah.
All right, cool. So we'll have Jack Cohn here again for another half inning when we come back on Big Train TV. Jake Eddington back to the mound for his fourth inning of work. He'll do battle with Peter Costigan to lead things off. Once again, Jack Cohn and Tyler Gallo here with you in the booth. And get us some questions real quick. So what's it like playing under Coach Sal? Because we know we've heard from other guys. We want to know what your standpoint is.
Yeah, I got to know Sal 2 summers ago playing for the Braves, and then last summer in the Nova League. It's been really fun. Just real loose personality, lets his guys play. Always has a good time, but also knows what he's talking about and knows how to get business done. So really fun.
Yes, Costigan fouls one off and into the screen. It's 1-2 here. So I mentioned this at the start, but people call you Jesus on the team. I mean, who coined that? Who was the first person to coin that? And I mean, how do you feel having a nickname like that?
First person, I think it was at home. One of my friend's moms.
Driven into right center field. Going to be a tough play for Johnson. He falls in front of him for a base hit. Costigan is aboard with a single. And you can get back to what you were saying there.
She was just saying that it looked like her children's book, like Jesus, and then that came to school a little bit, and then obviously Sal loves it. He calls me all the time, and a little bit uncomfortable because at times, but
yeah,
I'll try to embrace it, and I guess be a model, but
yeah, it's nice to know you got the respect of the guys on the team as well. Get a nickname like that as a leadoff single for Costigan. Brings up Sam Kaplan, the right fielder. Laces that one into right field for a base hit, and it's back-to-back singles to lead things off. That's one thing I want to ask. When you get 2 hits against you, like right away, I mean, how do you adjust on the mound to that when you have traffic on the base pass as opposed to pitching with the bases empty?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, he's been shoving all game, and it's just 2 back-to-back singles like that. It can be tough, but just knowing that he's got the stuff to –
Apologies for the technical difficulties here on Big Train TV as you roll back into things here. We're with Jack Cohn again up in the broadcast booth. Bases loaded and nobody out for Jake Eddington as he's weaved himself into a pressure cooker situation, and that's when I want to ask. I asked you a bit about the back-to-back hits, but when you're in a situation like this, how do you attack the hitters up at the plate?
Just keeping the same approach. I mean, you can be a little more careful, especially with bases loaded, no outs, just because the hitter's thinking right now, all he's got to do is put a ball in play.
Right.
And almost not conceding a run, just knowing that it's a tough situation to get up with 3 strikeouts, and you don't want to put that pressure on yourself. So
So there's this nice swing and a miss there, 1-2. Eddington getting into two-strike situations, which he's gotten into quite a bit this season. One of the leaders in strikeouts on this staff, and it's been fun watching Jake Eddington on the mound. I mean, what have you seen from him thus far this season? I know you mentioned a little bit, but what have you seen just overall this year?
Yeah, I think he has a great two-strike mentality. He just keeps attacking the hitter, has wipeout stuff that guys will chase at. He gets like a lot of swings and misses. I like how he just attacks all the hitters regardless of the situation.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch. He gets into this two-strike mode and just mows them down. I mean, tonight he's got 5 strikeouts to his ledger, which he would love another one here with the bases loaded. Looks back at the runner at second. 2-2 now. He delivers the pitch. Popped way up in the infield. Going to be an easier play as the infield fly rule is called. Batter is out, and there's first out, and that's what you like to see out of Jake Eddington there, getting that pop out, and then maybe a ground ball gets you out of this inning. So 1 out here. So we once again are joined by Jack Cohn on Big Train TV. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in today. If you have any questions for Jack, feel free to send them as we get to the end of his time here up in the booth with 2 outs looming here. Hopefully a ground ball can get him out of this inning, and we'll see what happens up here at the plate. But, Jack, I got to know, I mean, William and Mary, I guess, what was the decision to join theirs? That's lifting the left field. Going back on it is the left fielder Gump. He settles under it. This should be deep enough to score the runner. Coming in. A good throw from left field from Gump is in, but not on line. And that'll be a run as it's 3-2 here. So, William and Mary, a bit, close to here, I guess. What was your main decision in joining the tribe a couple of years ago?
That decision, it was kind of an easy one. As a junior in high school, they reached out to me and really showed their interest to me. And I just felt that location, education, and the baseball it was an easy choice. Going to a place where like they loved me and just trying to be a contributing factor right away, and that's all I needed to hear. Just everything they had to offer was amazing.
Yeah, definitely a good school, good baseball school as well. 0-1 here. I mean, as your time there, do you have a favorite moment during your time at William and Mary, and also what's been your favorite moment thus far this season? Because I know you had a walk-off sacrifice fly a couple games ago. But what stands out to you about your time there and here?
Favorite moment at William & Mary, maybe there was a Charleston series my freshman year where we were struggling a little bit at the end there, and we needed a sweep. And it was Sunday, and we won the first 2 games on Saturday with a walk-off. So then Sunday, I actually had the walk-off in that game, and that led us into our last series. So that was probably my favorite moment at William & Mary. Here, I had the home run game. I had 4 hits in that game, and I just remember coming up on my last at bat. I heard like some kids on third base or first base side say I was a trip away from the cycle, and I kept hearing like hit a triple, and I hit a ball down the line and ended up stopping at second because I couldn't get there to third. But it was just fun to have that experience shared with all these fans.
Yeah, that's cool to see the fans, getting on your side as the bases are now loaded once more as Jolly Hendricks walks to load them up, and Cam Buford, who struck out twice here up at the plate. When you have a guy, who's been, you mentioned your 4 hits at the plate. When you're facing a guy that's got a couple of hits against you, I mean, what's the mindset going into the third? Are you laying off some pitches you threw to him earlier, or are you just going in there with the mentality of I got to get him out with whatever I have?
Yeah, you definitely go back to past at bats. Like if you could have done something better, see certain sequences. But at the end of the day, as a pitcher, just knowing that you trust your stuff, like you don't play to the hitter's strengths, you play to your own strengths. Like that's what I think on the mound. Just not really playing into the hitter's stuff, just knowing that you're good enough to get the guy, because the hitter always is in the or always going to struggle at the end of the day against pitching. So just knowing that.
Yeah, it's a good special thing to do. So I guess I got to know, get inside of a mound visit. Are they joking around with you to try to calm you down when it's in this situation, or is it just, hey, you got to get this guy right here. This is your guy, and you get out of this inning and turn it over to the rest of the guys in the bullpen?
It definitely depends on, I think, the pitcher and whoever goes out, Lopez or Coach Sal. But But yeah, it can be a joking situation, like just to go out and tell a guy a joke, just to loosen him up, or yeah, like, hey, this is the guy that we need to like go away on, or like certain situational stuff.
Right.
But it's a lot of both.
Yeah, he pops a strike in there. And one thing we've noticed from Coach Lopez is just his infectious laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, how funny. I mean, I've seen guys laughing around at it, but how good of a pitching coach has he been this year for you guys regardless?
He's been great. I mean, just the effort he puts into this program, and just the love he brings, happiness he brings to everyone. And then as a pitching coach, yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate where he was still in high school, where all of my outings for the first part of the season, he was not there.
Yeah.
But then when he started to show up for my like couple last outings, just talking his ear and just hearing what he has to say, it's been really good. He knows what he's talking about, and I think he's helped a lot of the guys.
Yeah, it seems like he does have a pretty good relationship with you guys out there. Is 0-2 here on Cam Buford. Big strikeout situation for Jake Eddington, he's got 6 of them, or he's got 5 of them today. A lot of traffic on this inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch now from Jake Eddington. Delivers to Buford.
Good.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and gets him. And just one run across the situation, which you'll take any time.
Oh, yeah.
But Jack Cohn, thank you so much once again for joining us here on Big Train TV. Won't be the last interview we have this season, but we're happy we got Jack up here. Jack, thanks again so much for coming on.
No problem.
All right, we'll see you back for the top half of the bottom half of the 4th inning here on Big Train TV. Seven-hitter Trevor Doyle stands in at the plate. 6-hitter Trevor Doyle up at the plate. Leads things off against Tucker Alch. Takes a strike there, and it's 0-1. Big Train lead it 3-2 after a run does come across to score last inning. So I've been told that we have plenty of guys that were on the Taney Little League team. Shout out to Steve Bandora, who I'm assuming is, Scott Bandora's dad. But Monet, Jared Sprague-Lott, Jolly Hendricks. Richardson was also on that roster. I'll have to pull that guy up. I have my roster right here. Joe Richardson was on that team. Cummings, we saw him earlier this year, so I'll pull him up as well. Kai Cummings on that team, and, of course, Scott Bandora, like we mentioned. And then Cam Buford was actually on the Chicago team at that Little League World Series. So thank you to Mr. Bandora for that nugget. Really appreciate it. Always trying to get better here on Big Train TV, and we absolutely love that. But thanks again to Jack Cohn for coming on the broadcast. Just a great guy to talk to. Pretty laid back, pretty chill, and he gave us a great look into what goes through his head.
It's super interesting to hear from these guys, but especially those that continue to do really two very different aspects of the game at such a high competitive level. Being able to, keep that approach as a pitcher while still thinking about, okay, maybe I'm going to go in there for a pinch hit, or, being able to keep both of those approaches at the same time is really just such an impressive thing. And Jack does it at such a high level day in and day out. And there's a reason that he's here, and there's a reason that he's going to be going to the places that he's going.
Oh, yeah. He keep an eye on the name Jack Cohn in the future. We're not going to say anything about it, but definitely keep an eye on his name. A guy that can handle both sides of the ball. And it's not like he's like a guy that can go in and get a hit every once in a while. He does both things, both hit and pitch, at a very, very high level, like you said, which is very special for any hitter. So 3-2 the score here on Big Train TV. Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobek here with you. Jack Cohn just departed the booth. We do appreciate everyone that is tuned in from both sides, from Big Train families, as well as DC Grace families. We're glad to bring you guys your children's baseball. It's a 1-0 here to Keith Torres. Smacks that one to center field, but that's going to be right at the center fielder, Bandura. We just talked about him.
Yeah. That's some of the loudest contact we've seen from Torres this year. A little bit frustrating, obviously. Was on top of that ball, drove it, just happened to drive it straight to the center fielder, Bandura.
Right, and I'm not sure if that's going to be out in any other ballpark because he hit it pretty high. But, I mean, the center field fence in a couple of these ballparks, deepest part of the ballpark, maybe if you hit it down the right field line, I could see that going over 330. That was about 330, 340 line drive. But here's Christian Martin, who gave one a ride his first time up. F9, though. Yeah, like we said, a bunch of guys represented. A bunch of guys represented on that Taney team here and a bunch of Little League World Series alumni from on this team here.
The Little League World Series is just such a really incredible event.
Oh, it is. Good breaking ball there from Alchin. It's 0-1. One of my favorite times of the year to watch is the Little League World Series. I've been, Williamsport is in basically the middle of nowhere, but it is the most popular city on earth for about a couple weeks during the summer. 0-1 here to Christian Martin. Bounces one off his foot, and it's 0-2.
I also like the other thing that really stuck with me from what Jack said, he said at the top inning, was just about the atmosphere here and about how, sure, there's some families here and there, but the love of baseball, you can just feel it in the air here at Povich Field. And obviously at colleges, at William and Mary, at wherever these different players come from, you get that familial support, you get the friendly support from your friends that are able to come out to the ballpark. But in a place like this, it is just so incredible to feel that electricity, that love of baseball just emanating from all different parts of this ballpark.
I've had a couple of people that I know, a couple of family members and one friend that played in the Little League World Series, and they just said how great it was. As Martin's hit by the pitch and not needing to run there is Trevor Doyle, but he's going to go to third, and he's going to get there. The throw is not in time. Trevor Doyle with some unbelievable base running there as he gets to third on the hit by pitch, or the pitch in the dirt, takes two bases.
Yeah, just skirted a little bit away from Camper behind the dish, and Doyle with some heads-up running, able to take advantage and get all the way down into scoring position here with just one out.
So does that go as a wild pitch, or does that go as a pass ball? I think that's a wild pitch, because I don't know if it hit the catcher Camper.
We'll have to see.
Martin with a runner 90 feet away. Grounds one to first. Doyle not coming home, looks the runner back, and it's a 3-U for the second out.
Yeah, and tough there from Martin. Obviously put it on the ground where he, kind of the side of the field he wanted to get it to, but just not soft enough and not over to the left enough in time to bring Doyle in from third.
So here's Dylan Hatfield, who struck out looking his first time up. He's got a runner on third and could get a big run in across. Another low-scoring affair thus far for the Big Train. Just 3 hits, 3 runs as well. Yeah, my buddy Jackson from back home actually faced Monet Davis in that run to the Little League World Series as a Newark National. And then my cousin Nick has fouled off into the screen, played in the qualifiers as well. Didn't make the whole thing, but he hit a home run on national TV, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I think he was playing against in the regionals, I guess, if you call it that. But yeah, and Williamsport, I would definitely want to go there one time. Maybe call Little League World Series game, definitely on my bucket list. Strike there, and it's 1-1 here.
I mean, both Williamsport and Omaha for the College World Series, 2 really incredible destinations that I think brings that same sort of electricity. Obviously, you have the fans turning out to support their team, But the reason people are there is to watch the baseball, is to love the baseball.
Right, and it really encapsulates just how big of a baseball fan there is. This is 1-2 here for Dylan Hatfield. I saw Nick play at the Aberdeen complex when he was in was leading up to the regionals. That was where their final tournament was played before they headed to the Little League World Series regionals. It's fouled out of play. I always thought it was cool that they got to wear their own jerseys for the regionals and then got those really cool designed ones for the supers.
Yeah.
Because that was always my favorite thing. You know, Great Lakes region or something like that. I remember playing it on like MLB Power Pros. What a game that was. 1-2 here to Hatfield with 2 outs. Runner on third. Hatfield bounces one down the third base side. Not made there by Galvin Morris at third. So we'll do it again here on 1-2. So a walk in all the way to third goes the man, the myth, the legend, Riley Johnson, Trevor Doyle, who's really come along these past couple of weeks. It's really been fun to watch play. We'll see what the score of his escapades on the base path was there, but it's 1-2 here. It's Dylan Hatfield. Here's the pitch. In there, strike 3 called, and Dylan Hatfield is snake bitten once again. We head to the top of the 5th. Big Train still lead at 3-2 here on Big Train TV. The towering lefty, Everett Catlett, takes over after a pretty good start for Jake Eddington. 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. The walks really did him in this game. But he still has the lead, and he's still in line for a win. Everett Catlett looking to continue the line, keep it all moving for him here out of the bullpen. Catlett has pitched pretty well all season long for this team, really coming out of the bullpen, and he had just one incredible interview upstairs here last time.
Yeah, incredible is certainly a word for it.
Swing and miss from Campers. It's 1-1.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more each day, and more each time I talk to Dear Everett, why he's routinely the guy brought up when we ask the Jack Cones and the Jesse Barons of the world, who's the biggest character in that bullpen? Yeah, I think Everett is definitely deserving.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
You know, when he gets out there on the mound, he can really lock in, and I'm excited to see what he's able to do in this inning after a pretty good season of work for him so far.
Yeah, he's been a fun guy to watch on the mound. He came in
3 innings
out of the gate, just firing pellets. 2-1 here to Camper. Swing and a miss. There's that pellet there.
5
2-2.
strikeouts, no walks.
Thanks.
Big Train still clinging on to a run lead here, as things have they've brought a lot of instant classics here to Povich Field recently, which I mean I love to call as a
All
broadcaster.
for exciting baseball.
You know, it's good to not have blowouts every so often, but really settling into the league lead role as the ball skips away from Hatfield.
2-seamer, 4-seamer slider, and a changeup for Catlett off that long left arm. Celebrate his birthday in about 11 days now.
Full count offering now to Burt Camper. Here's the pitch from Catlett. Did he go around? He did not, and it's ball 4. They'll check down at the home plate or first base umpire, and he says he went around or did not go around, and Burt Camper is on with leadoff walk. I don't know about that.
First walk of the season issued by Everett, so you're welcome for the commentator's jinx there. It's a tough pitch, maybe a little bit high location-wise, but Camper whipped that thing around quick. I think he maybe went around halfway, but he was able to get the barrel of that turned back so quickly to his shoulder that he certainly had the umpire right in his pocket.
Catlett.
There's a slider.
Yeah, slide step from Catlett as well. On the mound, maybe trying to impede Burt Camper from going. I don't know if Camper's going anywhere, though. Kind of did a Bob Gibson-esque shuffle off the mound there. No one was extreme as Bob Gibson. 1-0. Squaring to bunt is Sprague Lott, and it gets away, and going down to second on the pass ball is Burt Camper. So we're still waiting on word what the scoring was.
On the Doyle,
on
it was
Doyle.
a wild pitch.
Wild pitch. I figured it would be because that thing skipped away. Didn't end up biting.
Well, I was
Tucker
just
Altsch.
interesting to see if they were going to score him advancing to second differently than they did advancing
Right.
to third. Because the ball skipped towards the DC dugout here on the right side and then just kind of sat there for a little bit. Nobody was overly pursuing it, and that, like you said, allowed Doyle to take that big turnaround second, just keep on going all the way to third base.
Catlett not hitting his spots here after you said he did not walk a batter coming into this. He's 3-0 here on the next one. 3-0 now from Catlett, who's looking to just pour a strike in there. He's got some good defense behind him, so he doesn't have to worry about laying one in. And then there's ball 4. So back-to-back walks to start his effort tonight, and that'll bring up Peter Costigan, who's reached base both times he's been up.
I feel bad. I feel like I almost owe him something, too. Last time we were talking about him, he was giving me a little stick when he was up here because maybe talking about his single at-bat down in South County a little bit too harshly. Just passing along what bullpen mate Cooper Rons had to say. Tough take on 2 fastballs to start before getting fooled a little bit with the slider there in his only plate appearance of the season.
I think he was very angry about No Soap Radios. That is a good bunt. Going to third is Hatfield, and he will get the force. Very smart throw there from Dylan Hatfield as that popped up in front of him, and getting the lead runner there for the first out.
Yeah, interesting fielder's choice there. I think Camper maybe thought that one was popped up foul or something. He was a little slow getting off the second base bag and pays the price as he commits a very fundamental mistake. First out made at third base here in the top of the 5th.
So Sam Kaplan, the hitter now. Kaplan turns around and bats on the left side. I believe he's a switch hitter. Oh, no, he is not a switch hitter. He is batting lefty all night. My mistake is that's fouled back into the screen, and it's 0-1. Catlett now can just settle in here with that first out. It always seems like that first out is the hardest to get for pitchers. And then, of course, the final 3 outs of the game are indubitably harder.
Could have asked Jack about that. I mean, especially when there's a little bit of traffic forming up behind you on the base paths.
0-1 here from Catlett. Looks back and delivers. Good swing and a miss there. Good pitch from Catlett.
That looked like either the changeup or maybe even the 2-seam. Just no significant break on it, but really good off speed there to fool Kaplan, who has dug himself a hole here. 0-2.
Timing off just a tick is Mr. Kaplan on that off speed. 0-2 now. Runner goes. Double steal is on and fouled off.
I mean, that's very frustrating as a coach. You know, for Reggie Terry, he thinks he's got in prime position. He's got the ducks on the pond moving, floating around a little bit. And a foul derails all the plans.
Yeah, foul ball, gets those runners back to their bases. But they'll see if they're going again 0-2. And stepping off and doing a pickoff move there is Catlett, but they're not moving.
Big score in the out-of-town scoreboard. Gaithersburg up on South County, 15-2, the top of the fourth.
So they continue to hang around in this division, the Giants.
It's going to be one messy scorebook for our good friend Adam Gotkin for Gaithersburg Radio.
It's getting to the point where the Big Train could clinch this season. Still got a couple of games before they would do that. Currently 5 games up on the Giants, and it won't change after this effort. If they win and swing and a miss, strike 3, Sam Kaplan goes down swinging, and there's 2 outs.
Yeah, great pitch there from Catlett. Elevated the fastball past him and got the swing and miss he needed to put himself in much better position here with 2 on.
So here's Jay Tarkington coming up to the plate, number 41. Interesting baseball number there. Trying to recall players that were Tom Seaver, obviously, were 41.
We've got 40 and 41. Kaplan just retired.
Right.
Was wearing 40. Buford's got 51.
Tom Seaver, of course, wore 41 for many years for the Mets as he comes up empty on a swing, and there's 0-1. Rest in peace to a legendary baseball player who passed on this year. I feel like watching Jacob deGrom pitch now is sort of what it was like to watch Tom Seaver pitch back in the day. I don't want to speak too much on it as I didn't have that chance. Here's the 0-1. Pops a strike in the mitt of Dylan Hatfield, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, beautiful location there on the inside edge as well. And he's been in command the last 3 batters.
Catlett finding his groove here after 2 walks to lead off this inning. Here's the 0-2 now with 2 outs, trying to keep this a 1-run game with 2 runners on. Catlett sets and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that'll do it for the top of the 5th. Everett Catlett responds with 3 consecutive outs after walking the 2 batters to lead off this inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th here on Big Train TV. Tucker Alch out for his 5th inning of work, stretching his line a bit longer than his counterpart Jake Eddington tonight. And here is Riley Johnson standing up to the plate to cheeseburger in paradise.
Fresh out of Margaritaville. Looking to shake something up. Put some salt on a baseball here.
First pitch to Johnson is low and in the dirt, ball 1. Tucker Alch turned in a pretty nice start today thus far. Just 3 hits and 3 runs. 1 of them earned. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Strength of a couple of errors by his second baseman, Jolly Hendricks, today. Hendricks having some fits out there in the infield. But he's settled down, made some nice plays after that. 2-1 here to Riley Johnson, ECU Pirate. Every time I hear the word Pirate, I think of the good old Buccos up in Pittsburgh, as you would hope. 3-1 now, and also a good old quote from The Simpsons. A pirate? Well, that's hardly the image we want for Long John Silver's. Even though Silver's is a fish restaurant, which, love those Simpsons. 3-1 here to Riley Johnson. Called a strike even though the ball went away, and he does a portmanteau of a flip of the bat there.
Yeah, a little baton toss.
I thought 4th of July ended 2 days ago.
Sign him up to be a drum major, eh?
I wonder if they've got a good band program at ECU.
Johnson, high school teammate of Everett Catlett at Colgan High School in Manassas.
3-2 Johnson ropes one into right for a base hit, and he is aboard with a leadoff single.
Yeah, a couple pieces of base knock there for Riley Johnson now.
Johnson, the type of guy you want in the leadoff spot. I mean, he's a guy that will slash and dash. One of those rare hitters nowadays. Here's a guy who does the same thing, Mr. Darius Foster, though. You know what? I am just shocked that Darius Foster is not a switch hitter. He's built like a switch hitter, in my opinion. I don't know why.
What does built like a switch hitter mean?
He's a guy that I feel like could hit well from both sides of the plate with the way he just puts the ball in play.
Okay.
And but nope, he's just a lefty. A very good lefty at that. Guy that they've relied upon to get runners on base this year, and a guy that has just run amok on the base paths. Batting second today, takes one outside. Very good eye at the plate too. Yeah, the only switch hitter on this pitching or on this entire staff is surprisingly Brock Guffey, who has now reached his innings limit and he is no longer with us in Bethesda. Head back home to Hoover, Alabama. Nice to see him shove for a couple of outings as Foster takes a strike and it's 1-1. It was fun watching Brock Guffey pitch. He was solid. Maybe even more than solid this year. A couple of guys have departed us this year. Guffey, Jesse Barron, and Kyle Velasquez all have headed on to greener pastures, a.k.a. home.
I think there's some folks out there that agree with you on your switch hitter sentiments for Mr. Foster.
Oh, really?
That one skirts past Tarkington at first base.
And Johnson's
chugging. Going to have a chance to go to 3-2. I mean, there he is showing off that speed you talked about. That's twice now. Balls into the foul territory up the right side. Have put a runner in scoring position in back-to-back innings.
So another error this time on the pitcher. Slash and dash. He did both of those there. But who agrees with my sentiment about Darius Foster?
So he is right-handed. Huh.
He is right-handed, so he should be a switch hitter.
Huh. Wonder if that's like an Ichiro situation where he just learned to bat from the left side.
Maybe he's trying to
give himself that little bit of edge.
Maybe sacrificing a little bit of power there as he takes a strike 1-2. If he comes up here, we will definitely ask him about that. Shout out to Darius Foster's mother for helping us out with that information.
These are the little tidbits that
we love. We love. I mean, I was tagged on Twitter by Mr. Scott Bandora's, I guess, father, and he told me about the Taney thing. And we appreciate all the stats and nuggets that we can get up here as we try to bring you closer to Big Train baseball. So once again, and thank you to Robbie Wacker's mother for telling us for the high-quality video and broadcasting. Hey, you know what? We're trying our best out here, and we're glad that you guys enjoy it. 1-2 here on Darius Foster, who
just taking a whack at it and see what we can put out there.
Is 1-2 on the should-be switch hitter. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off and out of play. I mean, he looks the part of a solid left-hand hitter, though.
Yeah, you never would have known he's naturally right-handed.
I mean, my father is naturally right-handed, but he plays hockey left-handed.
My brother, same kind of way, naturally left-handed, plays golf, baseball, really anything with a swing involved as a righty.
I can't do anything.
But I think that was also just half because we were always sharing stuff as a kid. So, you know.
Yeah, Foster takes one outside.
A little bit easier when you got two righties rather than a righty and a lefty.
Darius Foster, 2-2.
Foster does throw right, though.
Yeah,
he's out in the field.
You'll see guys that have the left-right splits, but a guy that should be a switch hitter according to his mom. Here's the 2-2 inside. Well, I mean, he's just got the most. I think on this team, I know Torres has got a solid eye, but I think Darius Foster has the most refined eye at the plate.
I would say Torres, Foster, and Matt Thomas.
Yeah, and guys that.
By the way, Jack Cohn. We failed to mention him. I mean, he's a guy that pitches right-handed, but bats lefty.
special hitter. As Darius Foster uses that strong eye and takes ball 4, and he is almost guaranteed to be in motion.
I mean, the speed on the base paths right now.
Oh, a ball into the gap could score the runner from first and the runner from third. I mean, the runner from third would score in the gap.
Anybody else on third, I'd almost be worried about Foster lapping them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Foster nearly lapped. I forget who it was. I think Foster nearly lapped Danny Neareye earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. But he's on first, and Tucker Alts doesn't even have to worry about him with a base open on second.
How many pitches up? Oh,
Matt Thomas comes up empty on a swing and a miss. The ball skirts away a little bit from Bergkamper.
Over under 2.5 before Foster tries to.
He's usually in motion within the first 3 pitches, unless there's a runner in front of him. I mean, we know he's not going to run with a runner in front of him, and we'll also see if Catlett's night is done. See if he goes 2 or just 1, coming off of a shoulder injury, obviously, as we mentioned earlier this year. This gets to 8:45 here. He's checking on Foster. He was leaning a bit too far, but he got back in time. 0-1. Here. Once again, appreciate all the families tuning in and saying hello to us at the ballpark. Don't hesitate. If we're down in the concourse, there goes Foster, and you were right, Ben. Within the first couple pitches in motion. High throw. Coming home is Johnson, and he will be.
Oh.
He tries to do a flip over the plate, and he is out. So Riley Johnson, maybe Chris Coughlin-esque there at the plate, does a flip, is called out. Foster is safe at second. But Riley Johnson with maybe a painful acrobatic attempt there, and he is toast.
Interesting decision.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he was thinking on that, as he was dead as a doornail. But it's another stolen base for Darius Foster, who has given pitchers fits this year, but still a runner in scoring position here for Matt Thomas as the Big Train try to stretch their lead. 0-2 now. Long hold for Tucker Alch. See if Foster goes to third with no one covering. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball just high, and it's 1-2. Riley Johnson just did something that I have not seen in quite some time.
I mean, he got up there.
He did. He really got up there. One and two now. Here's the pitch. Thomas pokes one into right field. Should be playable for Kaplan. Settles under it. Makes the catch. Foster's going, and he heads back to second smartly. Nice throw there from Kaplan, by the way. So it's an F9 for Matt Thomas, and Kemp Alderman with another RBI chance. He's got 2 of them to his ledger tonight. Looking to continue to stake claim to the RBI total leader.
Yeah, just not quite enough under that one for Thomas to get Foster over an additional 90 feet.
So here's Alderman, the mighty righty from Mississippi. The Mississippi Masher. That's a good name for him.
Ooh, I like that.
A guy that we've drawn comparisons to Pete Alonso at the dish. Certainly making his case for that this year with some absolute voracious home runs. In a situation where a long ball would, I think he'd take that. 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the fifth. Big Train just staked to that 1-run lead right now. First pitch from Alch. Alderman takes a mighty rip at that one, and it's 0-1. Here to Kemp Alderman. Tucker Alch. Alderman matchup. You can call me Al, he says, as Alderman breaks his bat and heads it towards short. Buford has it, fires to first in time to retire the side, so the Big Train get a couple of runners in scoring position, but come up empty once again as Riley Johnson is thrown out on a trapeze. We'll head back to the top of the sixth here on Big Train TV. But first, a word from our sponsors at the Dandy Walker.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy-Walker syndrome. Dandy-Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Patrick Vandenberg hits one off the arm of Everett Catlett, and he is in pain here. And he is safe at first, so it's a single for Patrick Vandenberg to lead things off. Everett Catlett, that went right off of his arm. He'll throw some warm-up pitches to see if he's okay. He looks to be fine. Shaking his hand a little bit here. That was painful, though. Tells the trainers to come over, so they'll talk to him as he's definitely flexing that hand a little bit. So Everett Catlett with a painful painful leadoff single against him, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter Scott Bandura as he looks to be fine, and he'll chase the trainers off. Once again, you can find our interview with Jack Cohn today on YouTube. You can also find every broadcast from this season on YouTube as well.
Replays, highlights, do it all. And if you want to drop us a line, hit the team Twitter at GoBigTrain.
Or us.
Either one of us, at Bo_Bobeck, at Tyler A. Gallo.
Yes. Ben
hit the live chat.
Follow us on Twitter. Definitely follow our personals first before you follow
Yeah.
at GoBigTrain.
Need the clout.
Ben really trying to get at Bobeck on Twitter.
Yeah, if there's anybody from Twitter listening, here's the deal.
Get me Tyler Gallo, too. Dropping down another bunt is Bandura.
At Bobeck has not been active since like 2014. Meanwhile, I'm here every day out there grinding, increasing my Twitter profile. I'm getting great engagement with the app. I'm doing the whole platform a favor. And so it would be nice to be rewarded by removing a Russian bot and allowing me to take over the handle I so easily deserve.
I'll raise you one better as Bandura fouls one off. At Tyler Gallo, never tweeted, never followed anyone, never liked anything, and has been sitting there since 2014.
There was like that month, I forget whether it was last year or early last year, where there was a rumor that people that hadn't been active for like a certain time,
Yeah,
their
for like
accounts
6
would be
months.
purged.
Bandura
And
takes
then
the
it
ball
never
low.
happened.
I really
I'm
wish.
so excited.
I was too, because I was like, oh, I'll finally get Tyler Gallo. But I'm fine with Tyler A. Gallo for now. But once I make it big as the broadcaster for the Texas Rangers, you're going to have to give me my just due.
Interesting choice.
I just come up with a random team that no one would think about. 1-2 now to Bandura. Here's the pitch. Slashes that one foul. That one had some loud contact to it. Ben, I'm sorry, but no one followed you.
Oh, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking for an update on the match. Phil Mickelson Tom Brady.
Is that really important?
Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron
The
Rodgers.
big trainer winning by 1, and you're worried about Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson, shows where your priorities are.
What are the Mets
1 and
up to?
2. They're rain delayed, so I don't have to worry about them right now. 2 and 2. DeGrom was supposed to pitch tonight. Apparently, Steve Cohen has said they're going to pitch tonight, or going to play tonight. I just hope no one gets hurt on the wet field. Always run with that issue when it rains. No rain here tonight, at least not yet. It rained our last couple of games too. 2 and 2 here from Catlett with a runner on first. Bandora putting up a good at bat here.
Yeah, seen plenty of pitches.
Hooting and hollering from the stands. Sky has turned a nice periwinkle color here at Povich Field.
Isn't that more purple?
Nah, that's periwinkle. 2 and 2.
No, I just meant the color periwinkle. I think it's more.
It's like bluish purple, which is the sky right now.
Yeah, I guess.
Periwinkle, I don't know, maybe not cyan. Definitely not cyan.
No, cyan is like the bright neon blue you get out of a printer.
I'll pull up periwinkle for you.
It looks more periwinkle on the screen, right? The monitor rather than the actual.
It's in the
sky.
blue and violet category. Fouled off. That is absolutely periwinkle, Ben.
Yeah, it's a little lighter, but okay. Yeah.
It's a very light periwinkle.
I'm just saying, through the window it looks more blue.
Oh, yeah. Well, once you taste the sun, as I am right here, periwinkle for you. No sun out right now, though. Full count offering to Bandora. He's put up a very good at bat, and he fouls another one to the same exact spot that he fouled 5 others.
Twitter account complaints, color theory. Is there anything we can't do?
Is there anything we can't do is correct. So we are Big Train TV, and we are ready to rumble.
All aboard.
You think Sean Salehi could do this? Just kidding. I love Sean. Sean's awesome. 3 and 2. Sean could do whatever he wants. Set up some pretty solid interviews while there was no baseball last year as well. Full count. Pandora again.
Find those on the YouTube page as
Yeah,
well.
find those on the. Those
Talking
were the
baseball with Sean Salehi and manager Sal Colangelo.
The early days of Big Train TV. I think of the Drake meme. This wasn't here before we got here. We built this. As 3 and 2 now.
Feels like it's been 3 and 2 for about a year.
Yeah,
now.
it's been 3 and 2 since July 4th. Here's the pitch. Bandora hits one down the left field line, and that's the 5th or 4th foul in a row, and the 6th of the at bat. 4th, as things are really just fighting things off here. Scott Bandora putting up a heck of an at bat.
13th pitch of the at bat coming from the arm of Everett Catlett.
And an arm that was nearly knocked off after a Patrick Vandenberg single. He's still at first, by the way. Bandora fights one off and sends it into shallow left, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. So how about that? Gets the pitch he wants, gets jammed, and still gets a base hit. And there are now 2 runners on. Just a phenomenal at-bat from Bandora and a phenomenal piece of hitting from the man that is a Taney alum. One of several on this roster and several Little League World Series participants. Scott Bandora at second base, and here is another one, Jolly Hendricks. He's got a couple of errors in the field today, but he's reached via a walk, and he's got a sacrifice and a ground out. Here's the pitch. Squares the bunt, that gets away from Hatfield, and everybody's going to move up a base. So with the base open, do you think they pitch to Jolly Hendricks here, or do you think they walk him and try to get a force at any base?
No, I think they're pitching to him.
So would that go as a wild pitch, or is that a straight pass ball?
That's a tough one because it's inside, running down a little bit, I think, with the slider. But it, bounced off of Hatfield's foot almost, it seemed. Really took a strange hop down there on the inside back corner of the batter's area.
It's inside again. It's 2-0. The Big Train are suffering from a left-on-base epidemic this season, as we have seen before. And they've left one on base in the last 4 innings, and in scoring position, I believe. 2-0 here from Everett Catlett.
DC having their own
Fits
quirks
as well,
with
yeah.
that, yeah. Both the bases loaded twice tonight.
Pair of singles, have the runners on second and third. 3-0 now. And I don't know. I mean, he's not attacking him here for Jolly Hendricks. And there is some action in the big train bullpen. Might be the last batter for Everett Catlett. We'll have to see. There's a couple of guys up and moving in the DC Grays bullpen as well. No one throwing, though. 3-0. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Jolly Hendricks works a no-out walk and loads the bases. And Everett Catlett has nowhere to put Cam Buford, fresh off of a CRCBL Offensive Player of the Week. Buford has struck out 3 times tonight, and Catlett would ever love that in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking to bounce back with the command here. Put yourself in a slightly better position. Still with no outs here and the bases loaded.
Gets a strike in there, and it's 0-1. Everett looking to be ever long here and get some strikeouts out of this inning. He is ever long in his height, though. 6'7". Bounce to short, should be 2. Torres second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. So I jinxed him there. Fielder's choice. Torres gets an out. But the DC Grays have tied the game here at 3. Fielder's choice ground out for Cam Buford. He is safe. And up comes Burt Camper. 6-4-3 fielder's choice allows him to reach. Out at second is Jolly Hendricks.
Yeah, didn't see exactly what happened there. I think maybe the throw. It seemed like the throw had Buford beat. So I'm thinking it just pulled from Martin. It pulled Thomas a little bit off that first base bag.
It was a
Would have been a
tailor-made
great break to get to.
Right, it was tailor-made, but Buford is pretty quick.
So Bandora down to third. Runners on the corners with 1 out.
Burt Camper, the batter, who struck out twice tonight and walked once. Thrown out at third. Runner goes, Buford, and hit to center field. Coming on as center fielder, broke back on it. It makes the catch, and that's going to, I'm not sure why they didn't throw to first, but out at home. What a throw by the center fielder, Riley Johnson. So I thought he wasn't going to be smart by not throwing out the runner at first, who stole second, but the cannon from Riley Johnson gets the runner out at the plate, and we're tied at 3 heading to the bottom half of the 6th inning here on Big Train TV. What a throw. Brady Gump up at the plate now. The outfielder coming up to some outfield. Your love. Facing off against the new pitcher, Cooper Vest, who started against the big train earlier this year, and he gets a swing and a miss there for the first pitch. Strike one. Vest, the left-hander out of the bullpen from BYU, Brigham Young University out there in Utah. We have another nugget we'll get to next inning about the leadoff hitter for DC. Cooper Vest first out of the pen. 5 innings for Tucker Alton. He only allowed 3 runs, 1 of them earned. 1-1 now. Here's the pitch. Good breaking ball from Vest, and it's 1-2. Creeping past 9 o'clock here in Rockville, Maryland. 1-2 now to Brady Gump. Here's the pitch. Game tied at 3. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and a third strikeout of the day for Brady Gump, and that'll bring up Trevor Doyle. So Vest fooling Brady Gump on a couple of pitches there. And now his outfield counterpart, Trevor Doyle.
Yeah, just Vest's second relief appearance of the season. Trying to stack 2 of their better pitching arms. 4 games started, 5 games overall, 16 2/3 of innings worked, 10 hits allowed, just 2 runs, 5 walks to 15 strikeouts. A DeGrom-esque 1.08 ERA.
And we'll see how good he piggybacks the starter Tucker Alton this game. 3-3 your score here. Big Train just 4 hits to the Grays 7. Doyle takes a strike there. It's 1-1. So back to that throw from Riley Johnson to end the last half of the inning. I mean, not entirely sure I don't know who was on third there to end the inning.
Bandora, I believe.
Bandora. I'm not sure what Scott Bandora was doing there.
Probably listening to his base coach.
Yeah, true. I'm not sure why you send him there. 1, with the arm of Riley Johnson in center field, and 2, how shallow it was hit.
And it was only the second out of the inning. I think if you have runners on the corner still with 2 outs, not the end of the world.
Right.
I don't understand what went into that decision making by the DC Grays third base coach down there. Not exactly sure which one it was.
Yeah, count
but again,
run.
it wasn't a very hard hit ball by Camper. Shallow right center. If not that deep into the outfield was Johnson, and he was able to get under that. And I mean, he had Bandora beat by a mile, almost as much as Johnson himself was beat by trying to score at home.
3-2 the score.
No acrobatics from Bandora.
Yeah, we wish we could have actually showed you the acrobatics from Riley Johnson as he did a Chris Coughlin-esque flip to home plate, but did not pass it. Full count offering now to Trevor Doyle, who really come into his own his last couple of weeks. His vest will wipe off some sweat on the brim of his cap and go over things one more time.
Me too, Coop.
4 errors, 4 score and 7 errors ago for the DC Grays. 3-3 the score. Here's the pitch. Hit to the opposite field. Very dangerously close to Galvin Morris at third base, but foul ball. I went by some random diner on the way back from Ocean City today, and it said 4 score and 7 pancakes ago, Abe ate here. I thought that was pretty funny. Pretty nice. Pretty neat.
Nito Burrito.
Nito Burrito. Tomas Nito. Mets legend right there. Full count offering now from Cooper Vest once more. Here's the pitch. Again to the opposite field, but foul, and this is becoming a very Scott Bandora-ish at bat.
I'm sure Doyle would be looking for the same result. How about Raul Nito, Wizards legend?
That's Neto, I'm pretty sure, though.
It is. I'm forcing it to go along with
Great
that.
basketball last name. Is he a great basketball player, though?
He's good enough to get to the NBA.
That is true. And you can't take that away from him. Here's the full count offering. Taken, strike 3 called. And retired looking as Trevor Doyle. He did not like that.
Yeah, good off-speed. Perfect location there from Vest on the outside edge.
And Cooper Vest started a game in D.C. where he held the big train off the board for the first 4 innings and was taken out.
Yeah, maybe yanked a little bit early.
So, I mean, we can harken back to the Johnson throw in just a second. I've been informed from my informant on Twitter is a swing and a half swing there from Keith Torres. So Buford was going on the pitch, and it was an easy out at first base. So why not send the runner there? That's the reasoning that I've been given. Why not send the runner? Because if he throws, he probably thought he was throwing to first base, and he would have run home to score. So, figured the throw would go to first. Very smart decision, just not smart execution, I guess. Slowly hit to second and not going to get the speed of Keith Torres as they are just toying with the second baseman, Jolly Hendricks, tonight. Once again, thank you to Steve Bandura for our insider info for this broadcast. Really appreciate everything we've been given on Twitter tonight. And every tag, every comment we've gotten. Really just appreciate everybody's help. I mean, we can't do it all ourselves up here, especially Ben. Ben gets by with a little help from his friends, much like John Lennon. I think that was his song.
Third best Beatle.
Who's your favorite, Ringo?
George.
3-3
George
to
Allison.
score. And Christian Martin takes the ball.
Wrote the best Beatles song of all time.
Yellow Submarine.
While My Guitar Gently Weeps off the White Album.
I'm a huge fan of the song Revolution.
Good song.
Very good song. And the greatest place it was ever played, so we played a hockey tournament a couple of years ago at RMU. It was Martin Takes a Strike. It's 1-1. And we were at Revolution Ice Arena in Philadelphia, and they played Revolution by the Beatles. I was like,
Makes sense.
That's kind of funny. I like that. And then I listened to the song, and I was like, this is a great song. I didn't realize how good the guitar solo was. Yeah, Keith Torres aboard with an infield single. Didn't charge the ball as hard as he probably should have, as it was a funky hop. Was Jolly Hendricks. Martin hits one off his shoulder? Not sure.
We've seen a couple of funky hops on this dirt the last few
Yeah,
days.
and it's because the poor drainage on this field just gives really fits to the infielders after it rains. And they finally cleaned it off a bit, and we saw another weird one at first base. But I think the funkiest one this year that led to a Jack Cohn walk-off, first baseman, I forget who it was for South County, but it went past his glove. He tried to backhand it and spear it and didn't make the play. 1-2 now here to Christian Martin. The runner on first. Here's the pitch now with 2 outs. Hits one high into left field, into foul territory, hoping for the play as the third baseman, Jarrett Sprague-Lott. He does not get there. And he'll do 1-2 one more time. We'll have something on Sprague-Lott when we come back. He leads off the inning. I figured I'd save it for that. Once again, more insider info. Getting a lot of insider info tonight. We love insider info. College basketball insider John Rothstein here. 1-2. With your Rothstein reaction. Breaking news behind me. 1-2 again. Here's the pitch. Martin goes down, swinging, and the side is retired. So 3 strikeouts in the inning for Cooper Vest, but he allows the single in between. We'll head to the top of the 7th here on Big Train TV.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Jared Sprague-Lott stands in at the plate, and this season for the Atlantic 10, Jared Sprague-Lott out of Richmond, the Spiders, led the Atlantic 10 Conference in hitting this year as a freshman, batted .413 in their shortened year. Very solid year for Jared Sprague-Lott, and he's carried it over here to the CRCBL as he cuts on and misses that one. First pitch from the new pitcher, Ryan Daugherty. Seen him work a few times this year. Sprague-Lott batting .227 this year, or .237. He started off the season pretty well and then has fallen on hard times recently, but tonight he's got a single and a walk and a strikeout. Looking to contribute more of the same here against Ryan Daugherty. 1-1. Sprague-Lott with a long swing and a miss there, and it's 1-2. It's been a very powerless couple of games for the Big Train, not in terms of scoring, but in terms of just power. 1 home run over the last 3 games thus far. That's inside 2-2. After their outburst in South County, it's been tough sledding for the team. They've put up just these 8 runs in their last 3 games. Sometimes that'll happen, though, and I'm after you put up a big offensive outburst in a game, sometimes the offense goes dormant for a couple of games before they can get back to their dominant self. Count runs full here for Ryan Daugherty. Started off the season as a designated hitter and occasional infielder. Hit right back off Daugherty's glove and into center field for a base hit. Deflected, and another one, back-to-back innings with one, and it's a leadoff single for Sprague-Lott, his second of the day.
Yeah, tough play there for Daugherty. Hit straight back at him, but a wicked hop.
Wicked
straight,
smart.
straight off the front of the bump.
Wicked smart. So runner on first now. As Peter Costigan's up at the plate. A walk, a single, and a fielder's choice to his ledger tonight. 3-3 the score. Inside, 0-1. One pitch now from Daugherty. Delivers. Hit high and out of play down the right field line. Heading towards the cars. 3-3 tie.
Saved by the fence.
Big Train and DC have played some solid games this year.
They really have.
They've been a worthy adversary for this team, even though they're in last place. They've played pretty well in all their games against the Big Train, putting up some good fights. They got 8 hits to the Big Train's 5 today. 0-2 now offering to Costigan. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He is down swinging, and there's one out for Ryan Daugherty. So here's Sam Kaplan now. Mr. Kaplan up at the plate. Tonight.
Beautiful piece of pitching there from Daugherty.
So we've been informed that Everett Catlett now wants his new walk-up song to be Boyfriend by Justin Bieber. Just adding to the legend of Everett Catlett.
Which part? Like the...
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'll have to ask him later.
Yeah, well, you know.
Because there's so many different parts of that song that are so many different vibes, you know.
Kaplan today is 1 for 3. Struck out and sacrificed fly, so he's 1 for 2. Had a single in the second inning, in the 4th inning.
I'll spare you rapping Boyfriend.
Yeah,
for now.
I hope you don't. It's a tie game here. Up high, ball 2. Ball 1. Sometimes you wish you could have a rewinder machine like they have at Secret Base. 1-1 here. Oh, painful swing and a miss there from Sam Kaplan, who has to get his bearings back in the batter's box. And it's 1-2. Fans have been generally quiet tonight. Not a lot to cheer about since the 3rd inning. The Big Train have not scored a run. DC tacked on a couple in that span. Tied the game up at 3. Inside, ball 2, and it's 2-2. It's a shame none of those fans have come down and see their 19-run outburst, 14 spot in the 8th inning. South County. They'll head back there tomorrow. So that ball's hammered into left field, way up in the air, though. And there's Gump, and he gets it for the second out. Big ol' F7 for Sam Kaplan.
Yeah, way under that one.
Just squared it up enough where you would think it might have gone out. But unfortunately, nope.
Just a bit too tall there.
Is Ed Too Tall Jones too tall?
Is Everett Catlett too tall? He says yes.
Yeah, he says, I don't like this. First offering
I've
now
never
to Jay
heard-
Tarkington.
Between him and Luke Baker, I've never heard such negativity about being.
Good pickoff move, and he's safe at first. He nearly got him leaning there. Ryan Darty, pretty solid. That's a really good pickoff move from him. Andy Pettit-esque.
Thought he had him. Thomas thought he had him at first, too.
I wonder what Thomas says to the guys on first base. Like,
I meant to ask Jack Cohn that. I kind of, when.
So, Tarkington once again
That's
fanning.
That's probably what I wonder about the most is, when you see a batter talking to an ump after a call, what are you saying? Are you just being like, is that high?
We were due to have Matt Thomas up here at some point. We'll get him up here before the season's over.
He's one of the more talkative guys.
So there goes the runner inside. Hatfield's throw is on the money, and he got him. Oh, what a play by Keith Torres. Can you believe that? A jumping play at second base. And the runner, Jared Sprague-Lott, is toast. What a catch and what a throw.
What a tag by the flying Hawaiian Keith Torres. Elevating for that one, bringing it down, putting it straight on the buttocks of Sprague-Lott.
Getting
the third out of the inning. What stretch.
Mini exclamation point on that caught stealing there for the big train as it's time to stretch here at Povich Field. Fresh off of gunning down a runner at second with the help of the defensive wizard Keith Torres, he really embodied the spirit of the Flying Hawaiian on that play. As he flew and made an amazing jump tag on the runner Jared Sprague-Lott. So there's a up and in ball one to Dylan Hatfield.
Airtime for flight number 9 there from the shortstop position.
Flight 9 straight to Honolulu. 1-0 now, or I think he's from Lanai City. You'll have to check that. In there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Capole, yes.
Well, probably butchered that, but
Capole. I don't know. I've been there. I have not been there. I've been to Kailua. Breaking ball up and in from the new pitcher, Andrew Calhoun. Calhoun, number 36, out of Wofford. Ivers, South Carolina native.
Only his second appearance on the season. Comes in with an inning and a third of work.
Hatfield swings and misses there. And he has 2 strikes. They called him out there. wrong out call there for the umpire.
Yeah.
Called him out. And I'm sure
2
Dylan
hits.
Hatfield.
2 hits, 1 run. Nothing else of note for Calhoun. No strikeouts, no walks.
Hatfield fouls it off. Hatfield has been rung up twice tonight and rung up in his last 5 at-bats. Searching for that hit to break this over. Love to get a rally started here in the bottom of the 7th as things are getting into crunch time on Big Train TV and at Povich Field. Mostly at Povich Field. Time is called by Andrew Calhoun, the righty. The Wofford's the Terriers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Breaking ball just high, and the count runs full.
Really nice pitch there. A little bit of a off-speed curveball. Just couldn't quite drop enough to get itself back down in the zone. Calhoun, the 5'11", 190 righty. As you said, rising sophomore.
Up the middle, bounces to shortstop Buford, fires first in time, and Hatfield is retired for the 3rd time tonight. 6-3 put out, and that'll turn the order over for Riley Johnson, who made an outstanding outfield assist back in the 6th.
Yeah, I think people might be looking at his pants and saying, wait a second, you're an outfield. How'd you get so dirty?
Well,
trying to put on his best Simone Biles impression with a catapult over Camper, the catcher. Very eventful night.
Apparently the rain keeps stopping and starting in New York, and people are very angry. I bet if this was like a scheduled Robert Stock start, because Johnson checks in with another base hit, his 3rd of the day. He is just running wild against the DC Grays, and a rally starter here, so that'll bring up Darius Foster.
Yeah, and thinking back to it, his best play of the season, probably backed up by that great throw out, but his best play of the season was that running grab up against the center field wall against this very team, down in D.C., at the Washington Nationals Youth Academy, but still matched up against the Grays. He kind of surprised. He and Rocco Pepe love playing D.C. That's tic-tac-toe, 3 singles in a row for Mr. Johnson.
Poured out for Foster, takes one outside, ball 1. Riley Johnson, the lone wall crasher this season for the Big Train. It's hard to
wall crash against the chain link fence here at Povich Field, and really at most locations around the CRCBL. Not exactly the thick cushioning and padding you're looking for.
It's not quite thick down the left field line, though. Very thin foul territory as Calhoun checks the runner at first base and Johnson staying put. Johnson made some smart base running plays in this game, in addition to some solid outfield defense as well. Because his fly ball that he caught, he backed up on, he got fooled by it, and then he came back in. Checking on Johnson again, and he's not going anywhere. Nearly got him.
He was the one picked off on, I think it was Alderman was at the plate, and it was like a foul ball that Johnson thought was a passed ball or something, and so he was doubled off, and it was just a funky play. But he's got some serious speed, I think, as we've mentioned throughout his night.
Outside ball 1, and I'm thinking Ryan Daugherty for the 8th. And then they'll turn it over to Ryan Metz for the 9th, or they'll bring in Ryan Metz for 2 innings.
We've seen him do that before. That's how he ended up with the win a couple weeks ago.
Big Train looking to make that point moot here. Bethesda lead is now gone. They led 3-2 and 2-0 at one point, up and in. Ball 2, and it's 2-1.
Carbajal also available out of the pen per the lineup card. See what the plan is for the 8th inning. Doherty normally a 1-inning guy.
So we'll see if it's Mets or if it's Carbajal. You think maybe if the game is still tied, they go to Carbajal. Maybe not. Maybe they still go to Mets, who's working on an 18 2/3 scoreless stretch as the count runs to 3-1, dating back to 2019.
Yeah, he's been locked in for the big train throughout his multiple years of service now.
This season more than others. Really just been striking out the world. Checking on Johnson again, and he's back in there at first base, still 3-1.
I think last time he pitched against DC, came in, struck out the side. Actually, that I have to double check. That might have been the game I was referring to when they got him some run support halfway through his 2-inning outing.
Yeah, he struck out 6 of 7 in one of his outings this year as well. Outside, ball 4, and the big train have 2 runners on with 1 out for Matt Thomas. Exactly the guy you want up in this situation. Johnson is at second.
Yeah, it was. Back on June the 27th here at Povich Field. It was a tight 7-7 game, or 7-6 game, really. DC was leading. Mets came on, struck out the side in the top of the 8th. They put up 3 runs with that Brady Gump home run, standing as the game winner back in June.
Made Ben Bobeck lose his lunch.
And I've never enjoyed losing my lunch as much as I did that night.
Brady
But
Gump ties
Mets
the
came
game.
in and, like you said, slammed the door shut. 6 total strikeouts. Struck out 6 of the 7 batters he faced. A hit by pitch to Jay Tarkington, the only base runner allowed in the top of that 9th inning.
Very good outing for Ryan Metz. But a guy that is looking to find it here, Matt Thomas. He's had some days where he's been unstoppable and some days where he just looks like your run-of-the-mill ball player. After a couple weeks after his CRCBL Offensive Player of the Week, cooled off a bit in that stretch, takes one up and in, ball 1.
I mean, the speed, talked about it, I think, the last time these two were on the corners opposite each other. Now they're on first and second here with 1 out.
Big swing and a miss there from Thomas. The count runs to 1-1. One and one now to Matt Thomas. Here's the pitch. Up the middle. Could be 2. Buford to second for 1. Hendricks to first. In time for the double play. And the big train are set down here in the bottom of the 7th. They leave 1 runner on as they head to the top of the 8th, tied at 3. Jay Tarkington, the leadoff hitter here in the top of the 8th against Ryan Doherty for his second inning of work. Big Train looking to tack on some runs here, but of course they're going to have to get a scoreless inning before they can do that. Tarkington tonight struck out a couple of times, just once. He's walked and he singled. Good night for him at the dish. Takes the ball and it's 1-0. Way up in the air and fouled back. Way out of play. One and one now from Doherty. Delivers to Tarkington. Bounce to third. Charging it is Alderman. Throws it to first. Is offline and it gets away. And Tarkington's going to get down to second base. Corralled by Thomas. The throw down is in time, and he's out! What a throw by Matt Thomas. And the leadoff hitter Tarkington is retired on a very loud out number 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to score that one off the top of my head. Eventful out there for the Big Train defense.
I think they're calling it an error there.
Yeah, a throwing error erased by Thomas from the right field foul territory. That ball careened off the fence there up the first base line, hard enough for Thomas to just get over it and fire pretty easily down to Torres covering at second.
Thomas has earned his golden corral there with that golden corral play. Corralled the ball along the fence, makes the great throw to second. Torres there to back it up. So interesting E4 and then a
E5.
E5, excuse me, and then a 3-6 put out. If I'm not mistaken,
Pretty sure it was Torres on the receiving end.
3-6 on the base pass. Patrick Vandenberg up now and takes 2 quick strikes from Doherty. Long kick inside. See Rocco Pepe heading out to the bullpen. Are we going to get a Rocco Pepe pitching appearance? Probably not.
Maybe catching, helping a catch.
Yeah, I would assume that either Metz or Carvajal's up in the bullpen.
3-6, by the way, just to confirm.
Yeah, 3-6 put out of Jay Tarkington at second base. See who the new pitcher is for DC next inning. I don't know if Calhoun will go another inning. There is someone up in the bullpen. Vandenberg lofts one to left field, coming on his gump. He settles under it and makes the catch for the second out.
Yeah, so pretty good start to this one for Doherty.
The center fielder, number 30, Scott Bandura.
So here's Scott Bandura. Big Train still with their same outfield alignment they've had all game. Looks to be 37 up in the, or 30, one of the 30s up in the bullpen. We'll have to see who it is. Strike there taken by Scott Bandura.
Frank Kraska, perhaps. We've seen him a couple times.
33, and that is in fact, or that is,
Yeah.
yeah, that is in fact Frank Kraska up in the bullpen. I was looking at Kemp Alderman on the other side. Fell back in the screen by Bandura, and it's 0-2.
See if Bandura can work another 14 pitch at bat here.
He gets away.
Update from the out-of-town scoreboard. Alexandria down in, or over in Silver Spring.
It's also a football score.
Leading that one 8-3. As you said, touchdown, 2-point conversion, just a field goal for Silver Spring Tacoma. And another football score up in, or down in South County. As the Braves looking to drop this one by a large margin, 21-7.
Doherty gets one in there, strike 3 called, and a phenomenal 8th inning for him. Big Train sending up their middle of the order. Alderman, Gump, and Doyle due up when we come back here on Big Train TV. Big 33, Kemp Alderman stands in here against Calhoun for his second inning of work. Pretty solid first inning. First pitch to him. Alderman smacks one into the foul territory.
One thing I've noticed about the mighty righty, Mr. Alderman, very aggressive on the first pitch. It's kind of like very opposite ends with hitters. You either get somebody who's never going to take a first pitch unless it's, the juiciest of juicy meatballs from Gregorio's.
There's some good meatballs today.
Yeah. There's the inspiration. Or you're going to get guys like Kemp who, they're coming up swinging. Once they're in the box, their job is to hit. Doesn't matter, what conventional wisdom says about the first pitch.
Yeah, I know. I recall. Obviously Jeff McNeil is one of the most aggressive hitters. He always swings at the first pitch. Yoenis Cespedes would always take the first pitch. I'm not sure how that is for some guys that you may know, but sometimes guys don't want to ambush on the first pitch. He ambushes there and fouls it off. It's different for every hitter.
Straight between the gap between the bullpen and the end of the bleachers. And again, some young fans right in position to make a play on that one.
They always seem to know where to go for those baseballs.
You develop a keen sense for where the ball's going to end up here at Povich.
2-2 now to Alderman. Swing and a miss, strike three. Ball gets away, though, and he will be retired at first base. Throw down by Camper, and he is retired for the first out.
Yeah, big cut there.
So Snoop Doggy Dog up to the plate. Brady Gump. Did Bob just age back several years? Interesting.
Robert Button on the mic tonight.
The hot button topic. Here's the pitch to Gump. Breaking ball bends outside and the ball one. Gump tonight held in check, 3 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. Comes up and in, and it's 2-0. Things getting a bit cooler here at Povich Field. Gump takes another one in about virtually the same spot.
Yeah, it only feels like it's 95 now.
As opposed to 123 earlier. Also very quiet here at Povich. 3-0 now. Gump takes one right down Broadway, and it's 3-1. I just find it miraculous that most pitchers, after throwing 3 consecutive balls not really close, can miraculously throw one exactly down the middle on 3-0. Gump fouls it back, 3-2. I think Coach Lopez liked what I just said.
It's a skill you never want to need to have.
Right.
But, when the time requires, you just got to put it in there. Serve up some nice meet the balls.
Hoping for a meatball here is Brady Gump. Instead, he takes ball 4 and is aboard with 1 out. So 2 of 3 true outcomes tonight for Brady Gump. He struck out 3 times and he just walked.
Yeah, so I didn't necessarily want to bring it up at that moment, but Brady Gump leading off the 8th inning against DC is exactly how he cranked that one into the deep night to tie the game. Back in that game we were talking about a little bit before.
Be a good time for the one and only Trevor Doyle to check in with his first of the year.
Now running at first base for the big train, number 13, Jack Cole.
And fresh off his appearance up here in the Dandy Walker Lions broadcast booth, it's Jack Cohn checking in as a pinch runner for Mr. Gump.
Cohen will likely take over in some outfield position. Probably going to be center field or left. I don't see Riley Johnson coming out of this game. But maybe Gump's just out of this game, and I'm just an idiot. Sometimes I'm a talking head, and that's what happens.
The name of this band is Big Train TV.
Jack Cohn checks into the game, the lefty off the bench, and takes over at first base for Brady Gump. Really enjoyed his time up here in the booth. Very cool guys. That's rocketed up the middle, past a diving Hendricks, and into center field, and Cohn is chugging for third. The throw is on line, a little bit off. And in at third is Jack Cohn with that lead run. And a base hit for Trevor Doyle, his first of the night.
Yeah, a very timely piece of hitting from Doyle, sneaking it by Hendricks, laying out into the dirt for that. And Cohn held up a second, maybe like a half step at second base. Not sure if he was going to be able to churn, but kept it going. Kept the momentum moving. And able to get down to third. But the go-ahead run 90 feet away here for Keith Torres, pardon.
Keith Torres would love one of his patented infield singles. See what goes on here. Flying Hawaiian made an absolutely beautiful play on the relay, not a relay throw, a throw down from Dylan Hatfield to retire a runner at second base. First pitch to him, outside ball one, and Cohn, you got to be wary of him scampering home on a pass ball or a wild pitch. Can move it. He likes to move it, move it. One and 0 now from the pitcher Calhoun. Here's the pitch. Up and in. Runner goes down in a fake throw. Good idea by Burt Camper to maybe get Jack Cohn leaning a little bit, but he's not going anywhere. And a free stolen base for Trevor Doyle.
I mean, that's how Johnson was caught out earlier. Camper made the throw down to second, and instantly, as the ball left his hand, Johnson took off. Hendricks was able to cut it off, trying to apply the tag on Foster and then get the throw back home to Camper, where the acrobatics ensued. But this time, just puts two in scoring position here with one out for Torres.
Oh, no. That hit home plate umpire, and that's going to be a run scored for the Big Train, but concern for the home plate umpires. He took that one right off the dome, and he is down in a heap on the field. I was going to say before that, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, strike three, says the hitter there, or the catcher Burt Camper, but right off the head for the home plate umpire. And when we come, we'll have a word from our sponsors as they tend to his injury needs here on Big Train TV.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
So the lead run comes in to score on the wild pitch, straight wild pitch there from. There's no way that could be called anything other than a wild pitch. Home plate umpire was down, but he's back up and behind the plate. Looking to see if he can settle back in here as a couple of warm-up tosses tired. 3-0 is the count to Keith Torres. That did move Trevor Doyle to third. Still just one out. Definitely a scary situation, but apparently none worse for the wear.
Absolutely. Something you never want to see.
Something shattered off of his mask. I don't know if he was wearing sunglasses or something, but a piece of his mask came behind home plate. So he's ready to go once more. 3-0 now. Torres swinging 3-0 and sends one a mile high in the infield, losing his hat as Hendricks, and he makes the catch for the second out.
Yeah, dealing with a lot of hair over there. Maybe he needs to size up. But a good job to track that one deep into the second base hole. Infield playing in with the runner at third. Backtracking. That thing was a mile up in the air.
So we could see Ryan Metz for the ninth inning. Torres not happy with himself after that. Slams the bat in disgust in the dugout in the helmet. It's all right, Keith. We've been there. 2 outs now, and Christian Martin up to the plate. The runner on third. Tacks the first pitch and sends it out of play. Strike one. Couple of our intern pals down the left field line walking around. Up to no good.
Certainly.
Especially Joey Painter. 0-1 now. Here from Calhoun to Martin. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Strike. Very, very nasty spin on that breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
I mean, it's almost Ephus-esque how slow the curveball is. It's got that beautiful 11-5, almost sideways bending shape. It got in the perfect location there on the inside edge.
So 0-2 goes to 1-2, and it's straight 12-6 to me, that curveball. It looked 12-6 to me. So I don't know what you're trying to pantomime over there as Martin fouls it off.
It broke from 11-5. It did not break straight down.
No, it was more like that to me. So no one can see what motions we're making, so it really doesn't matter. 1-2 still. Umpire gets a collection of baseballs. Never did learn his name. Been through the desert on a horse with no name. See if they have it on the official box score after the game is over. 1-2 now to Martin. Fouls it off. Never want to see an umpire get hit with a pitch. Those are always painful to watch. One and two. Sets and delivers. A cue shot up the third base side, and it's booted by the third baseman, Sprague Lott, and that'll score the run. So a very softly hit infield single for Christian Martin and the big train. Oh, they'll give him an error on that.
By who?
I have no clue. I really don't know. Error by the third baseman, Sprague Lott, even though that was hit very far to his right. And a cue ball. So, no RBI for Christian Martin. Takes a strike there. It's 1-2. Quickly here on Dylan Hatfield with 2 outs. Ben has had some misgivings with our official scorer here, who has not been very friendly. 1-2, up and up and up and up. And it's 2-2. Or I don't know the count. They didn't change the count.
That's an RBI in my book.
Yeah, that's a poor judgment call there.
It's far too hard for Sprague Lott to get over from the line straight up the middle. It didn't even get to the outfield grass.
Runner goes in the dirt, skips away, and safe at second with a stolen base is Martin. So if he can't get the RBI, he'll take the stolen base there. I agree with you there, Ben. That ball was hit maybe 62 miles an hour, maybe even less than that. Sprague-Lott had to shade to his right, had to spear it on the backhand, and it went under his glove. He didn't even make contact with it. If he made contact with it and flipped it up, maybe, but I don't call that an error in my book. I would have given that a straight single all the way. Hatfield ropes one right at him, and an Adam ball for Sprague-Lott. Retires aside, but the Big Train get 2 runs in some unconventional ways. We head to the top of the 9th. Jack Cohn out to the field, and it looks like we're going to see Ryan Metz coming into the game when we come back here on Big Train TV. Jolly Hendricks leads off the top of the 9th against the man that we call game over, Ryan Metz.
You're trying to make that stick. I admire your effort.
It's working its way into the vernacular. It's working.
It's hard to discount. And we'll see if
enters
he can live up to it here.
up and into Jolly Hendricks. He comes into today with 18 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings dating back to 2019. This year he's been just untouchable. Always a chance for that to change, though, as he zips the strikes in there, and it's 1-1.
7 appearances coming into tonight, 10 1/3 innings. Just 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch. A 3-0 record, 14 strikeouts, and a 0.00 earned run average. Looking for some paint on the outside corner there. Can't get the call.
So still in search of his first save of the season. He has been in the 9th several times, and he's gotten 3 wins. Finally getting a chance to pitch in that situation, though, as the ball skips back to the backstop, and it's 3-1. Jolly Hendricks today. I'm on the wrong side of my scorebook. I'll get to that in a second.
I can tell you, he has sacrifice in the first, couple walks, and a ground out to the shortstop.
And also has had a tremendous
0 for 1, I guess.
tremendous head of hair to deal with in the field and a couple of errors as he takes ball 4 for his third walk of the day and a leadoff base runner here against Ryan Metz.
Third walk of the day, just the second this season issued by Ryan Metz, as he'll have to work around Hendricks bouncing off first base there.
So
Metz on that ball 3 especially, the release point looked a little bit off, just trying to pull it a little bit too much across his body. Came back with what I thought was a very nice location on the inside to Hendricks there, but again, just couldn't quite get the call. Is coming up hacking heads up in the dugout.
oh man, nearly took out one of his teammates was Cam Buford. Chicago team went to the Little League World Series, and Buford today 0 for 4 with an RBI on a fielder's choice, but he struck out 3 times, and Metz, this guy who does that quite often, look to do so here as he checks the runner at first. Good pickoff move from Ryan Metz. And when you're in a situation like this, you got to have a good pickoff move.
Especially for a righty. You know, obviously with, you mentioned, you praised Doherty's before. Obviously,
Buford
Little
fouls
bit-
it back.
I don't want to say easier, right, but a little bit different to incorporate a good pickoff move when you do have that lefty move in your
Absolutely.
arsenal. But for a righty, you got to be that much quicker, that much more fluid, and still making sure you're locating that ball to the first baseman efficiently.
0-2 now to Cam Buford, who struck out 3 times. Does not want the sombrero here. Taken just outside. Ball 1.
It's a tough call.
Yeah, tough one to take there. But maybe being a bit generous here. Buford has been struck out 3 times. 1-2 now with Hendricks on first. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The 4th strikeout of the day. And the first one for Ryan Metz this evening.
Yeah, beautiful. So misses a little bit outside, doesn't get the call on the edge of the plate, and comes right back in with the perfect off speed on the inside to get Buford whiffing.
Owen just deducted a few points on his best bat boy in the CRCBL title as he just dropped the baseballs on the way over.
Oh, poor Owen.
So,
He works hard.
yeah, he does. We're Burt Camper. Does not have the mad hits today. Just a walk, a couple of strikeouts, and a double play. An F9-2 double play you don't see too often. But a very nice throw from Riley Johnson, who is still in center. Jack Cohn is taking over in left for Grump, and a good pickoff move by Metz. So we just passed the 10 o'clock hour. Been a very short, long game. Metz' first offering to Camper. Pops the mitt of Hatfield, but it's up high, ball 1.
See how Metz's control maybe comes back a little bit over the next batter or so.
Yeah, he's got that 2-run lead to work with. Tying run at the plate.
Perfect pitch.
And very beautiful pitch there from Ryan Metz, and it's 1-1.
I think that was the changeup again, kind of on the inside edge. Mostly goes with the changeup, the cutter, and that 4-seam in that order. Loves the cutter. But his changeup has been deadly.
0-1, half swing. Did he go around? He did not, and that's 2-1. Metz out of Virginia Tech. Had an outing against the Grays, I believe it was, where he struck out 6 of 7 batters he faced.
It was?
And it was just surgical in every sense of the word. Trying to recalibrate himself here. 2-1. Swing and a miss on that.
There's the cut.
There's the 98 from both sides he was telling about.
Yeah.
He's telling us about. Way back when.
Maybe a little bit of a biased scouting report, but I mean, you could tell that because the thing's got heat on it, right? It sounds like a fastball going into Hatfield's mitt, but you can just see that little tail towards the outside on the batter towards the end of that pitch.
Absolutely. 2-2 now to Camper. Got him looking. Strike 3 called. He did do a check swing, but it doesn't matter. And that's back-to-back Ks for Ryan Metz. And Hells Bells plays here at Povich Field.
The third baseman, number 11, Jared Sprague-Lott.
Sprague-Lott would be is the last batter, and would be next is Peter Costigan. But for now, the A-10's leading freshman hitter. Nice 412 clip for Richmond. The Richmond Spider, Jared Sprague-Lott. First pitch to him from Metz. Right down the middle, strike 1. 0-1 now to Sprague-Lott, who struck out once today. He walked in a pair of singles. He's 2 for 3 today. 2 for 3. There we go. Was caught stealing on a phenomenal effort by Keith Torres earlier in this game. And now the 1-1. Taking for a strike, and the DC Grays are down to their final strike.
There's a four-seamer perfectly located on the outside. Metz has worked both edges of the plate, inside and outside, very efficiently so far tonight, especially against Buford and Camper, the last two batters to strike out.
He delivers. Up
Now,
high, ball 2. The claps are loud here.
I'm now trying to work a little bit back inside, maybe a half a ball or so too far in on Sprague-Lott. It's too tight. But, man, that was a good-looking pitch.
As the claps begin, he collects himself. Here's the pitch. Fouled back, and we'll do it one more time on 2-2. He wants that K. Finish it off with a flourish. Just got to deal with Jared Sprague-Lott, a tough guy to strike out, but he has struck out today.
16 strikeouts in 11 innings flat now for Metz so far.
Jolly
Looking
on
for
first.
one more.
Here's the pitch. Fouled back again. So he's fighting off some good pitches here from Metz. He's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him in this at-bat. Claps continue here at Povich Field. Big Train looking for their 19th win of the season. Metz gets the sign. He sets and delivers the pitch. Hit deep to center field. Going back is Johnson. Onto the warning track at the wall. He makes the catch, and the ball game is over. He does a nice little leap down the outfield wall as Ryan Metz finishes off his first save of the season, and the Big Train move to 19-4. They win it 5-3.
Celebratory acrobatics against the right center field fence as Johnson hauls that thing in, and it's all aboard. Another trip to Victory Station here for the Big Train. Win number 19 in the books.
What a game it was for the Big Train. They were in the lead early. DC Grays fought back in another great game between these two squads. The Big Train moved to 19-4, and the DC Grays fall to 7-15 on the season. Big Train, 5 runs on 7 hits and an error, and the DC Grays 3 runs on 8 hits and 5 errors in the field today. And Ben, what was your one takeaway from today's game?
One takeaway was, the Big Train never quit. Obviously, the offensive output over the last couple of games now hasn't been as high as we know that it could be throughout some of the earlier games of the year. But more importantly, I think the bullpen hung a couple really big zeros down the stretch. Some really good pitching from Catlett, Doherty, and Metz to close things out. Doherty gets the win, I believe his first of the year. And Metz gets his first save, as we are hearing through the PA system. But the bats, they weren't loud. Right. But they were a couple really nice sequences put together. Some really good base running. They used their speed efficiently. And all in all, a very well put together fundamental baseball game for the Big Train to get the win here tonight.
Some good small ball today as the Big Train speaks softly but carry a strong stick. We will be back here for Big Train postgame in just a couple of moments here on Big Train TV.
as we say good evening for one final time from here inside the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth. Ben Bobek and Tyler Gallo here for Big Train TV, as once again the final score presented by Bethesda Magazine, the Big Train 5 and the DC Grays 3. The final line scores for the Big Train: 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 error, 6 runners left on base for the visiting Grays. 3 runs, 8 hits, 4 errors, and 11 left on base by my book. An additional error, take a hit away from the Big Train if you want. But again, my decision. This game started precisely at 7 o'clock, ended at 10:12. And Tyler, as we said, a very eventful game, very efficient game on both sides. Clean, low scoring. Your biggest takeaway, I gave you mine. Now you give me yours.
Well, it's always good when you can win without hitting the home run and win by a couple of runs. And I really was impressed with just how the bullpen, they bent a little bit and they allowed the tying runs to come across the score. But when Ryan Daugherty came in and Everett Catlett pitched really well despite allowing a couple of runs, Daugherty came in and pitched phenomenally, and then Metz finished it off with a flourish with a couple of strikeouts in that 9th inning. This Big Train continues to find ways to win game, this Big Train team, and that's really all that matters this season. They only put up 8 hits today, but you know what? They made the most of the mistakes that the other team did. The other team gave them. And a lot of small ball, a lot of runners moved over, and that's really the biggest takeaway I have from this game.
Yeah, of course, the biggest inning came in the bottom of the 8th. That 2-run came in with a 3-3 tie. Started off with the Kemp Alderman strikeout. Brady Gump then reached via the walk, came around to score as the go-ahead run. Doyle singled after him. Torres was at the plate when the wild pitch that scored the pinch runner, Jack Cohn, as the go-ahead run, which would stand as the winning run. Torres then popped out. Martin delivered the RBI single to score Doyle, and Hatfield ended the bottom of the 8th inning with a sharp line out to Spraglott, the third baseman. Overall, who is your hitter of the game tonight for the Big Train?
It's going to be a tough choice for me, and I'm going to have to go over the score again, but I think, tonight, Riley Johnson really impressed me with the way he was able to slash and dash and get on base. I mean, he scored runs. He scored 3 of the 5 Big Train runs tonight, which is not really going unnoticed up here. Riley Johnson with 3 singles and reached on an error, reached base all 4 times he was up, and also made a phenomenal defensive play to cut down a runner at the plate, and that is my player of the game tonight.
Made the catch to end the game as well in the top of the 9th inning, like you said. 3 for 4 with 3 singles, reached on an error in the first, the only time he did not reach base via a technical hit. For me, I'm going to have to go with, this is a tough one. I mean, Gump really delivered the at-bat, or the plate appearance, so to say, that kind of started things with that base on balls. But how about Christian Martin, that timely single, that quote-unquote single up the left side that allowed Doyle to come home to score? They scored the insurance runs when they needed to.
Yeah, that's a big hit in the keynote part of this game. It's still listed as an error officially, but that should have been a hit either way. Regardless, Big Train get that big W, and it took virtually killing an umpire for them to get that lead run. And then, of course, the other one came across. But I think it honestly, all across the board, has to go to Riley Johnson tonight. 3 for 4. Should have been 4 for 4, but, that a tough error to take at second base as the first 2 batters reached via an error. But, tonight, DC Grays fell to the Big Train by a score of 5-3, and Big Train moved to 19-4.
Yeah, and how about Ryan Daugherty as well? 2 very solid innings of relief in the 7th and 8th for the Big Train bullpen. Got the win as well, his first of the season.
I was really impressed with Ryan Daugherty. After a couple of shaky outings earlier on this year, he came in and really just finished off those 2 innings with got the lead, got the win, and much deserved win for Ryan Daugherty, even though maybe you could say Jake Eddington deserved it, but they didn't get the lead when he was on the mound. So Ryan Daugherty, of course, gets it.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on this one before we wrap things up here for Big Train TV? Pack up and get ready to head down south for Lorton tomorrow night.
Well, the Grays remain in the gray, and they drop this one 5-3. And, of course, really big effort on both sides for this. A lot of errors and a lot of traffic on the base pass. Big Train finally found some ways to get runners in, and they leave the Grays in the gray for this one as they win 5-3.
As you said, one more time, the final score, Big Train 5, DC 3. That will do it for us here on Big Train TV. Plenty of errors for us in the broadcast booth, but we'll move on and up. As we said, tomorrow night down in Lorton, Virginia, as the Big Train take it on the road against the South County Braves. We'll be here at 7 p.m. on Big Train TV. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your night. For Tyler Gallo, I've been Ben Bobek. We will see you tomorrow night.
We won't see you tomorrow night, though.